Don't worry about me.
And
Alright.
then Dudarin died.
And they all died.
Forever.
Alright. Welcome, friends, to another game of Skyfall 5th Edition. I am your DM, as always, Alucien, and I'm joined today by the Lucky Bastards, a group of adventurers that I don't really think have much of a plan right now. They're just really lucky, and it kind of works out for them. We have Ivan, a cleric, thrown across the sort of drift of space from one world to another, trying to find his way. Dudarin, the prolific folk hero, the exemplar of heroic deeds amongst the three small towns. And we have Saigataka, the monk who I think doesn't really understand much of anything that's happening right now, and
not right now.
And Meneltirn, a high elf wizard who thinks that Dudarin is a hero destined for great things. In your last session, you guys all got up to some shenanigans and kind of tied up some knots. You had awoken outside of the sort of burnt patch where Velu once stood, and collected yourselves, buried a friend, and then soon ran into a couple of strange characters, the first of which being a masked man. Thought that Dudarin was destined for some sort of great task and would be, a hero born from a trial of flame. And Zai, you really didn't have any objections, and Dudarin was too ill to say anything, so we just started traveling with you guys, and that was that. And shortly after that, you were joined by Ivan here, who was a dwarf kind of found amidst the wreckage of a rock that fell from space. Started to tag along, seeing as how he really has no idea what's going on here. And again, there were really no objections. So, traveling along the road, you eventually made it to the border between Roche and Freehold. And before traveling into Roche, had a small dilemma. You also had some talkings with a traveling merchant, one that you would eventually save after successfully getting across the border. And now you're all in the center of the town of Arbison and have recently concluded a deal with the devil. You're standing in a small alleyway. The four of you are there, and it's rather dark, though there is daylight sort of down in the main streets, and you guys are all alone here in this sort of secluded area. What do you do?
Real quick, so last session I ran an Arcana check on the gem that we got.
Yes.
And I figured out what it was, and I forgot to write it down.
Oh. How about we go over that a second time then? Let me see if I can
I know
find
it's a coral turquoise.
Yes.
That's about it.
So the coral turquoise, when held in your hand, looks like a normal turquoise. There's nothing really special about it, but if it's a few inches from your face, you can see that the blue turns into like a liquid that moves around like the ocean, and that the veins of previously gray metal in between turns into like wafts of seaweed that move around in this ocean that swirls about. You know, if I remember correctly, you got a pretty decent roll.
Yes, I got a very good roll.
Yeah.
It wasn't a 20, but wait, was it a 20?
I think it was a 20.
Yeah, it was a 20.
It was not natural though.
Yeah, it was a modded 20.
Are you sure it wasn't natural?
I think it might have been natural.
Yeah?
I would've. The counter would be at 17.
I think we stopped counting them.
I'll roll luck for you right now. I mean, if this is a 10 or higher, then it was a nat 20. And that's a 7. Okay, so it was a modded 20. So you don't get every single bit of info here, but you know a great deal about this item.
Mm-hmm.
You know that it's a sovereign stone, one of the great gems that the dwarves use to create their magical items. And you also know that the this particular turquoise here is associated with 3 main domains. One of which is the oceans, the other is charming, and the last is travel.
Okay.
So, along with the myth, anything that has at least some metal to it can be socketed with this gem, and the gem will give it its magic. And you know, with a 20 roll, that these gems can be sort of like mixed and matched. Like if you get
Right.
multiples, you can put them in the same object and things like that.
Right.
There are some other details as to how they work exactly, but you're not really familiar on those. The last bit of info I'll give you is that you know that the gem on its own, until it's socketed into something, does nothing. Like it's
Okay.
literally a very shiny, beautiful rock.
Okay.
Oh, it's raindrop shaped as well, if I didn't tell you that last time.
And then Dudarin and Zai each got 7 platinum, correct?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
so you got, what is that, like 140 gold? Pretty
Also,
good.
I'm giving a platinum each to Ivan and Mentaltier.
Oh, okay, very generous.
Hold on to one of those platinum.
I'll do the same.
Okay. So you guys kind of distribute that, and as you do, you hear something. It's like the fluttering of like a piece of parchment, and that's when you see that sort of like drifting down on the winds into the area appears to be a copy of the Chronicle. Something that you would recognize immediately, Dudarin. For everybody else in the party, it's just no one has any idea what this is.
Can I snatch it out of the air?
Sure, yeah, it just drifts by gently and you manage to catch it. And you can see that it has an addition on it. This particular one appears to be... here we are. It's dated autumn 55th. Oh, sorry. 55th. 1401. And it has 2 stories on it. One of which involves something that you all know very well. The disappearance of Volu, sort of consumed in flames, written by a one Presto. And the second story is that of sightings of a sea beast off of the city of Jubei, and this one is written by somebody whose alias is Black Dress. Now, you know the particulars of how the Chronicle works. Anybody who grew up in Skyfall pretty much knows by heart that this is a newspaper circulated that has to do with the goings-on in the lands of humans. And the papers only last for a few days before they actually just start to, like, magically disappear and just turn to dust. So if this is here, then it must have been circulated within the last few days.
Well, the world knows of Volu.
I
And there's-
suppose the city disappearing is bound to make a headline.
Is no one going to talk about what just happened?
No, it's better
I feel
not
like
to.
it was rather self-explanatory.
That you just do deals with devils?
I mean,
What's wrong with you?
It would appear that they had previous dealings. Whether or not we shall continue these dealings is another question entirely.
The answer to that is no.
That
You
is
don't
Before
do
we were-
your
deals
opinion.
with
Before
evil
we were whisked
beings.
away, I meant to explain this all to you.
Well,
Yeah, I'm listening.
I'll fold up the paper and put it in my back.
Okay.
First, you're going to need a drink.
first we need to decide what to do about this stone.
No, first
Um,
the drink, then the explanation.
First, the
And
stone.
whatever
I do
that
not
stone.
think you understand the importance of this.
First the
Well,
drink,
you'll
3
explain
to
it to me
1.
over a drink then. I like that plan. Use your devil money to buy me a drink.
Use your devil money.
This is not something we want to be discussing. The range of perhaps droppers.
Do you admit it's not normal to make
What?
contract with devils?
I'm not talking about the devil. I'm talking about the stone. I don't care about the devil.
Well,
So,
I don't know anything about magic, so we'll deal with the stone later. Just don't activate it.
don't worry, it won't be. I'll explain it later.
Thanks. I'll lead the party back to the pub, wherever we
Okay.
were.
So you're in an alleyway that's just outside of a small pub here, and you're able to step back inside, and it looks different than the way it was 10 minutes ago. It appears there's not very many people in here. Previously it was bustling, there's many open tables, and you're able to kind of just pick wherever you want to sit about in the room.
Knowing what I do about prophecies and the gods, and being that I bear the symbol of Yendu, do I know anything about the Great Souls myth?
Ah, interesting. Do you have proficiency in Arcana or History?
Both.
Both? Goodness. Okay, go and roll either of those. It's your choice.
Go ahead and roll. One a moment.
And your roll will not be terribly difficult because of the magic schools that you would have access to.
Right, and I mean, I think they're just give me one. Yeah, they're both +5, so it doesn't matter. Oh, I guess it does because it would give different information, right?
Did you just get a 20?
I didn't roll it.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
that is what I did roll a natural 20 last time. I guess I should have just checked the dice.
Oh, what's done is done now.
Yeah,
Maybe you'll get
it's
another.
fine.
Okay.
8, that's the 13.
Okay, so you're actually familiar with the Great Souls myth, and you know that the High Elves, they believe that the Great Souls have a formidable power that must essentially be controlled, and that when Great Souls are born into the worlds of men or the worlds of Tabaxi or whatever it may be, that they wield a tremendous power, and that it's important that the High Elves be the ones to put that power to best use.
Okay.
There are famous figures who are credited as being Great Souls in the lore of High Elves. Like the initial conquering of Skyfall is credited to a few of them, and they do show up in your history. Now, as far as the curse goes, all you know is that the Great Souls have so much power and potential in the world that the gods have cursed them, but you don't remember what the curse is.
Of course. Okay. So we go in and I think, this is odd. That's about it.
Okay. As you step inside, you can see that there is that woman there working at the counter, and she kind of comes over and offers you all a table.
Is this the same woman from before?
Yep.
Okay.
Now,
I forget, was this just a pub or was this also like an inn?
There are no rooms here, and it seems like it's more like a restaurant and a pub than anything.
Okay. So I walk over to the most secluded table, preferably in a corner somewhere.
Okay, yeah. You guys kind of put yourselves where there's no one around. You're sure that if you were to speak kind of in a low tone, that no one would be able to hear you throughout the room. So as you guys sit there, she wanders over and says, "Can I get you any drinks? Anything like that?"
we're gonna need a few strong ones.
Of course. One for each of you.
2 for me. I'm devilishly thirsty. Shooting a very stale glare at the rest of the party.
God.
She just goes, "Oh, okay," and then turns around and heads back, and soon 5 beers are brought to you. And you can see that she takes like a little piece of parchment and puts it down, like nailed to the table with like a small pin. And it has like your tally, like your bill, basically. And it looks like it's 1 silver for each of your drinks, so there's 5 silver that you owe so far.
Question. Detect magic. Can I cast that inconspicuously?
Very possibly. Given that you're over in the corner of the room and whatnot, I would allow you to make a stealth check to cast that without people noticing, because I think there is like a verbal component and stuff like that. If you want to ritual cast it, absolutely not. Like you're gonna be like setting up candles on the table and crap like that.
I don't think I have. No, I don't have that prepared because I can't ritual cast it, so I couldn't cast it anyway.
Yeah, go in the alley and do that.
What?
Oh, go in the alley and do that.
Yeah, there you go.
Take the restroom at the inn.
Yeah, there you go. No, I'll just keep an eye out then.
Okay. So you're all seated over here.
Are there any kind of disreputable or shady people in the bar?
Interesting. It appears No, the bar is filled mostly with what looks to be commoners. You can see peasants. It looks like there's a couple of merchants at another table, but nothing really out of the ordinary. No hooded figures giving you seedy glances or anything
Nobody
like
who
that.
looks like they are ears for the devil.
No, you look, you feel pretty secure here.
Okay.
If they are,
Any
then they're
words in
very
here?
cunning disguises.
Right. Okay.
I'm gonna take like a big swig out of my drink.
It's pretty good. It's a nice ale.
So, begin regaling us the tale of the devil so the dwarf may be satisfied.
So, first off, this began forever ago. We didn't start it. And I'll like swing my hand between me and Zai. Our ancestors made some kind of deal, and Theo came to collect on us, so we did a bit of work for him. Something about souls, I don't know. And it kind of just kept happening. So yeah, that's the short of it.
So you're saying that he owns your soul in some way, and you're
No,
obligated to...
we're completely free now.
Yes,
That's
so
what I don't understand. One thing,
We-
we
your
owed a
ancestors
debt
made a
and-
contract, and you're obligated to do some work for him, but that's over?
That
yes,
was
the work was completed and our debts have been repaid.
So takes a very large swig of ale. Why on earth are you still dealing with him?
well, he doesn't exactly leave us alone.
Well, have you just flat out refused?
I don't suppose we have.
Do you want to keep working with the devil?
Well, until the whole plane of fire business, it wasn't anything crazy.
What?
First we had to get this string, then we had to talk to that one dude that freaked out. And that was it.
And this devil may have answers to questions of my past.
I think it's fairly obvious that he also has ulterior motives.
Well,
What-
no doubt.
Whatever information you collected for him is likely far greater in value than what he paid you.
The problem now is that I'm not sure who's good and who isn't. He's saying
Well-
that the merchant Azard is bad, and Azard says he's the evil one.
Well, that may be the case with Azard, but it is
Maybe they're
likely
both evil.
Exactly.
Nice and simple.
For once, a dwarf got something.
Well, can you agree now that your dealings with him are done? If he comes calling, you'll politely refuse?
Well, I
Hey.
think we should perhaps consider all of the options that are before us, like the gem that was loaned. The
Yeah,
value of
something that
which
evil would
is-
not just hand us a magical item like that.
And if you would like, I could explain to you what this item is.
Well, let's look at what we know. Your ancestors made a deal with this devil to sell out your souls. He made you do a job of some sort, which you don't know the full consequences of, to pay the obligation. Now, he's trying to get you back into working for him by giving you small gifts of whatever this gem is. You don't think it's going to end up with you giving your souls back to him, or agreeing that your descendants will have their souls sold to him?
But we are no longer bound to him. Perhaps
No,
you are,
but
though.
if you're taking
We're not
gifts
sure
from
how
him.
you came to this world.
Soul is owned by no devil.
We did, as far as we know, you do actually have to sign a contract. So don't do that and you're fine.
There's one thing about devils that is certain. They like to play by the rules.
Take another break.
Now, of greater importance than your previous dealings, stone. And I look to, I guess, Darren. May I see it? I hold out my hands.
I thought you had it.
Who had it?
It's gone.
I mean, well, it's not gone. It was given to somebody. I just don't remember it from last session.
Probably would have been Dudarin, given that it's you and Zai who finished that contract, so the pan would go to one of you two, and Theo definitely considers you to be the more down-to-earth character, let's say.
Okay, I just didn't put it in my inventory. So.
Yep, so you've got this stone.
I'll take it.
Okay.
Place it in Meneltern's hands.
Okay.
Alright.
So immediately I cover it with the other hand, not to like conceal it, but to like hold it in place.
Okay.
Like, and I say, this, and in a more hushed tone than I was speaking previously. This is one of the sovereign stones. It was made by the dwarves to plant their weapons. This particular stone is known as the coral turquoise. It is from the domains of charming, from the ocean, and of travel. So, when socketed in a metal weapon, it will provide some kind of benefit, of which I do not know exactly, but related to its areas. And it can only be activated when socketed into an item of some sort. Otherwise, it falls completely inert. This stone is priceless, to say the least.
Why would he give us such an item?
That it was a gesture of good faith. I think he was more than serious when he said that.
Probably trying to lull you into a false sense of security.
It's possible.
May I see that? Putting my hand out for the gem.
I hand it to him.
Okay, taking a close look at this. Is there anything I can discern about it?
Oh. Well, being a dwarf, perhaps, though nothing exactly like this exists in the world that you come from.
Yeah,
what-
I mean, it's like, obviously it's a gem of some sort, and interesting that it was made by dwarves.
Indeed,
So, like, just-
yeah. So I'd have you go ahead and roll. What's the check that they ask you to do for, is it like investigation?
The stone cutting?
Yeah, stone cutting. I can't remember.
I think
Is it
it's
wisdom
history?
based?
Pretty sure it's history.
History? Okay. Yeah, go ahead and roll that. Let's see what you get.
Alright.
Get knowledge of like how it was crafted and stuff like that. There you go.
Okay, so that would be 22.
Okay. So looking at the stone, you can tell it holds a great deal of magical power, and the effects that start to splay out in front of you while you hold it are really quite grand. It's like there's almost like a small world encapsulated in the gem. You're not entirely sure what to do about it. Hearing Meneltern's description, the idea of the ocean and charming and travel, all of these thoughts and emotions that come from thinking about this seem to match up very much with what you feel when you just look at the stone long enough and you get that sense that what he's saying is correct. What to do with it, you're not sure. Back in your hometown, there is indeed like magical gems and things like that. The idea of putting them into weapons and stuff like that, though, is foreign, and you're not entirely sure how you would go about that.
I have a question. Is an arcane focus of a staff? Can there be any part of that that's made of metal?
Oh, it could be for sure. Yeah, so you could have a staff where maybe like the end of it is metal, or maybe there's like
Right.
a metal banding around it or something
Right.
like that.
Okay.
So that's what you know. You'll have to do kind of further investigation or anything like that if you want to figure it out. There's clearly like a great deal of magical goings on, but it's really tough to discern exactly what you're supposed to kind of do with it.
So I pulled my hand back out to the dwarf,
I hand it back to him.
and could I pull out like a piece of cloth from my bag?
Oh, sure, yeah.
I wrap it up and then hold it in between my two hands again, out in front of me. One of us should attempt to item as soon as possible. And if I may, I would suggest that perhaps I could affix it to my staff. It would enhance my abilities greatly.
I don't see any issue. How about you, dude?
That's fine with me.
Excellent. And then I put it. At that point I then retract it from the table and place it into my bag to affix later, or attempt to affix.
Okay, yeah, you stow it away in your backpack there.
Would I know if I could affix it myself?
Oh, you don't know. You're not sure how it is that the process even begins, like when it comes to
Right.
taking this gem and turning it into a magical item. That's just a completely foreign notion.
Okay.
Well, I guess we need to figure out what we're gonna be doing next. Ivan, I feel like a lot of our troubles have been that once Dude and I set out on the road, we've been quite directionless.
Oh, that reminds me. I'll dig the paper back out. Sit on the table. There's a sea beast.
Perhaps this adequate training.
Let me
So,
ask
do
you,
you know where the
Marth.
nearest dwarven city is?
Very far away. Even though we are at the border of Marenheim, my maps put it. How long do my maps put it away?
Oh, yeah, it's not close by. You're over in. Let's see here. Not including the travel you would have to do into the underground tunnels, like just getting to the entrance there would be like a 20-day trek from here.
It would likely take half a season.
Well, if I had the opportunity, I might want to see what my people's homeland looks like here, and possibly investigate these sovereign stones. It seems quite interesting. Nothing like it back where I'm from.
Well, the sovereign stones are far and few between.
They're dwarven made, though, didn't you say?
Yes, but they are also very rare.
Huh.
The dwarves made them long ago, as
You say
I understand
the
it.
art has been lost.
Alucien, would I know that
Oh,
if
no.
the art?
As far as you know, they're not made, but the dwarves mine them out of the earth.
Okay. It's not exactly an art. It is more of a get lucky kind of thing. They find them in the earth. Your people seem to like living underground, and it has given them benefit of the sovereign stone.
I see.
Marth, let me ask you, is there anything in your prophecy that might provide any information as to where we might go next? Anything that we might
Well,
have to do?
I uncovered the prophecy shortly before I had to flee my homeland. And then the stars brought me to Darren. I have not read them in some time, but I could. What time of day is it?
It seems
Alucien?
that it's early in the morning, so
Early
if
in
you
the
want to
morning?
read the stars, you will have to wait till the evening.
Right. If you wish for me to gain any direction from the gods, you will have to wait till evening.
Or do you think we could all use a little time to resupply?
Wouldn't
Well,
mind
shall
resting
we
after spending
stop?
some time on the road.
Yes, let's spend the day, stock up, and perhaps gain some guidance tonight.
Excellent.
Okay. So you're gonna attempt to find a place to sleep for the evening, or just kind of meander about town until this evening, where you'll all go out and check the stars, or like what's the plan exactly?
As soon I mean, I'm gonna look for a place to stay as soon as possible, and then
Okay.
hold up in there probably for the rest of the day.
I'm gonna go shopping.
Oh, okay. It's a shopping episode. Good, good.
I'm gonna go and find a blacksmith, and two things. One, if I can convince him to let me use his tools for free,
Oh,
attempt to kind of repair and refurbish my warhammer.
right on.
If not, or in addition, offer to assist him in whatever work he has for payment.
Did you take the proficiency with like smithing tools?
Yes, I am proficient with smith tools.
Very nice.
Swear to
Okay, well you'll
God,
know exactly
if
where to
he
go.
gets to work in a smithy, I swear to God, Mithrimbor will come back from the dead.
When you made your travel into town and first set foot in Arbisan, I remember you went to a blacksmith for a brief period of time to purchase some stuff, I think. So you know exactly where Onar's shop is. There's the smithy of blue steel that is over near like the sort of entrance into town.
Yeah, I wanted a warhammer, but a greatsword, but I had not the money.
And I perchance find an inn where they wouldn't ask me any questions.
Oh, an inn where they don't ask you any.
You know the kind.
Go ahead and roll insight for me.
Okay. Let's hope for some high rolls. Not bad. That's I'll let you know in a moment. It's gonna be at 6 plus 2, 18.
18. Okay.
Yep.
You step through town and this area, like this whole little settlement is quite small. It's only home to a few thousand people, and you do manage to find another inn. Though your hopes of finding one where people won't ask you questions, that sort of thing, exactly. You have a hard time finding anything like that.
Right.
You do manage to find a little lodging here where you step inside and kind of give a cursory glance about. There's a very sort of simple bar and a couple of tables, and there are some hallways that lead off to rooms near the back wall.
Okay. I'm assuming there's like a bar or there's someone obviously working here, right?
Indeed, yes.
Okay.
There's a few people kind of milling about and working, and there's a man behind the counter.
Okay, I would like to approach him.
Okay. He looks over towards you and he says, masked traveler.
Yes, it is a matter of faith.
Don't know what kind of pilgrimage you're making, but if you need a drink, I'm your guy.
I need a room.
Oh, yeah, certainly. It's 1 silver for the night.
Okay, I'll hand him
Hand him
3
what, sorry?
silver.
Oh, 3 silver.
Yeah, I'll hand him 3 silver.
It says, like he doesn't really know what to say.
May I have the key, please?
He gives you the key, and then he says, if you need anything, let me know.
Excellent. I head off to, and as soon as I get in there, I lock the door.
Okay, yeah, you are locked in your little room there. There's a little window nearby to the outside, but it's got a pair of blinds that you can put over it if you want.
They are not open. Absolutely
Okay.
not. I would like to attempt to affix the stone to my staff, though.
Oh, interesting. Okay, before we do that, we'll cut to the rest of the group. You three are all going to Blue Steel to speak with Onar, yes?
Yeah.
Right.
Also, I subtracted the money for our tab out of my.
Took the 5 silver out? Perfect. So you guys finish up your drinks and go your separate ways. Mendeltiern goes off to do something else in town while you three go and resolve to see the blacksmith and see what can be done there. Stepping into Blue Steel, you can see this man in his 30s. Onar's over there, and he seems to recognize you as he looks over. And he goes, "Oh, you were the one looking for the sword, wasn't it?
Yes.
Finally got the coin?"
Some abouts.
Well, if you or your friends have any business to do, let me know.
I'm gonna go back and browse the great swords.
Okay, yeah, you can go and give them a look. There's some nice swords here, and it seems that Onar's work, though not flashy or anything like that, is very sturdy and of good make.
I mean, I'm just gonna keep looking while Ivan does his thing.
Sure, yeah.
Do I see any darts here?
Oh, yeah, an odd weapon, but maybe.
Or brass knuckles if he's got them.
You know what? You don't find any darts. You do find a pair of brass knuckles, though.
Excuse me, Onar. How much for these? And I'll motion to the brass knuckles.
He says, "Oh, only 2 gold pieces."
I'll hand them the 2 gold.
Sure. Okay. You can add a pair of brass knuckles to your equipment there. So table talk, those don't modify anything for your strikes, but they could be useful for other stuff later, or for situational things like trying to break items with your hands, that kind of thing. You have some business you wanted to get up to, Ivan?
Yes. Say, Onar, would it be possible for me to use your smithy to repair my warhammer here a bit?
Are you
I
trained in
understand
the
it's
arts?
asking a bit much. Sorry?
Are you trained in the arts?
I am. Been a
Pauses
little
for a
while,
minute.
perhaps, but...
Kind of gives you a look. Go ahead and roll persuasion. You can tell that Onar is sizing you up. He's seeing if he believes
Okay.
you or not.
It's a solid 17.
Okay. He says, right. Fine by me, but you're using your own supplies, and if you break anything, then it's coming straight out of your wallet.
Mother.
In addition, I'm unfortunately a bit low on coin. I don't know if you'd be willing to let me work for you for a little bit.
He says,
We've
"Oh,
got extra jobs lying around.
he says, you know what? I don't have a ton of work, really. It's barely even a bit of workload for myself, so I can't really offer you any sort of job.
Good.
But I do know that there's work about town.
You know whereabouts?
Seems the guard are looking to deal with some bandits on the road and troubling travelers, people coming in through Freehold."
Well,
I see.
I think we killed them already.
He looks over at Isai and just goes, well, maybe you should speak to the guard about that. What do you mean, think?
Well, we helped out a fellow traveler on our way in. Seems he was being harassed by a group of bandits. If it was the same group, it'd be quite fortunate.
Oh, well, you've been doing good work then.
Yes, we travel with our hero here, Dudairn. Perhaps you've heard of him.
Oh, he looks over at you, Dudairn. And
I imagine Darren like slumps a little bit.
he looks over and he goes, "Oh, you're Dudarin."
Yes, that's him in the
Yes,
flesh.
I am.
He says, I've heard of you. The what was it? The beast in the water. Slew her with a single shot, wasn't it?"
Yes, a sea hag.
He pauses for a moment and he goes, "Well, it's an honor to meet you." And he extends a hand towards you, Dudarin.
I'll shake his hands like, the honor's mine.
Yeah, he shakes your hand. He says, "Look, I don't normally do this, but if you're looking to get that greatsword, I could maybe go a little bit lower on the price. You speak of how business over at Blue Steel would be preferable to anybody you run into on the road."
Advertisement deal.
I'm gonna roll something just for my own.
Yeah, of
Like
course.
Nike.
I don't really know how Darren would react to that.
Is this your favorite shop on the Citadel?
Well, I'm sure we could work something out.
He says, 55 gold for the sword. And he says it kind of hush-hush, like so that your companions can't quite hear. And he says, I would be more than happy to provide arms for a hero in the area, especially one who's doing good work like that.
The platinum is worth 10 gold, right?
Yes, yes it is. So that'd be 5.5 platinum.
I will hand him 5 platinum and 5 gold.
Okay, right there, you hand it to him, and he goes, this was the sword, wasn't it? And he motions towards the great sword that you had previously looked at. Says, "It's all yours," and he kind of takes it off and hands it over to you. And then he looks over at your friends, and he says, "And any friends of Dudarin that want to use the smithy, providing they don't break it, it's fine by me."
Oh, thank you. Quite
Is
generous of you.
Is the shop like wide or is it like packed?
It's a pretty large shop, and the sort of show area here that has all the items is pretty spacious. You don't feel cramped or anything like that.
Would there be enough room for me to like take a few like test swings
Sure, yeah.
and
Yeah,
not
so
break anything?
if people kind of step away, you have ample sort of space to swing it once or twice.
I'll do that just to get a feel for it.
Yeah, it definitely feels sturdy, and it's of nice make. The handle there fits really well in your hand. Clearly made for like a human of your size and caliber.
I start to clap as he starts taking his first practice swings with his new sword.
A proud parent. Okay, so yeah, you get this sword. We'll cut over for a brief moment before you guys conclude whatever business you might have with Onar. You're back over in your room there, Maltier, and you take out this teardrop-shaped turquoise and look over at your staff, which has like a metal cap on the top. Useful for combat whenever you actually have to hit somebody. It gives a little bit of heft and weight to it and keeps the wood from snapping.
Excellent.
So what do you want to do exactly here?
Do I get any creative liberties with how the staff looks on the top?
Yeah, as long as it's not like ridiculous. Tell me what you want, what you're thinking.
So I imagine that the top of the staff is a circular ring made of silver.
Okay.
In two planes. So it's two rings that kind of overlap each other, you know?
Okay.
Kind of as like a symbol of Yendu.
Okay.
The god of whom, I have the greatest connection with. And I'd like to attempt to affix it within that.
Interesting. So there's a circular band that goes around the top, and then there's another circular band that it kind of like sticks out.
No, so like imagine a sphere, but only in like the X and Y plane.
Right, like the atom symbol or whatever, but incomplete.
Right,
Okay.
like the atom symbol, but not quite as
The path
elaborate.
of the electrons. Okay, I gotcha.
Something
So
a little bit like that, yeah.
as you kind of bring this over, you notice something strange happens. The gem changes size in your hand and actually gets smaller, going from being about an inch large to being about half of that. So you can slide it directly into the rings, and then once there, it re-enlarges and perfectly takes up the space there.
Yay.
Now it's not the two aren't like affixed together, but it looks like the gem is like moving around its approximate size, almost like it's trying to gauge how to be placed or something.
Okay. So, Well, I mean, I don't really know what to do in this situation.
Sure. Okay. Well, we'll let you
can
think
I-
of your next idea then.
Okay.
Back at the shop, what do you guys want to do? You've just purchased a sword. You've given it some swings. It's great. Ivan, you've been given liberties to use the forge as long as you don't light it on fire. And Zai.
Somewhere in the underworld, Mithranbor's skeleton looks over his shoulder.
I'm
and
going
he dudes
to
angrily.
attempt to repair my warhammer if it's damaged at all, and repair any nicks or dents.
Okay. Yeah.
Taking great care not to damage Onar's forge at all.
Yeah. Go ahead and make a regular roll with the proficiency of your smith's tools and all that.
Okay.
And we
So
can
that's
make
just
it either
proficiency
strength or dexterity based. It's your choice.
Oh, that would definitely be strength. 14.
14. Okay. So you don't smash the forge or anything like that and start to get to work. You start heating the hammer, but doing so in a limited fashion, trying not to like damage the whole integrity of it, and start moving the metal around to kind of get it back to where it should be. This process is going to take a while. So as you start to do this, I can tell you that the result will probably be good at the end of it. But there's a lot of time. So Zai and Dudarin, what do you want to do exactly?
Are you finished here, Zai?
Yes, I don't think I need anything else, but perhaps we need some food if we're going to head out again.
That was my next stop. Yeah, so like, if we're leaving, I'm gonna stick my head back into the smith and be like, Ivan, we're leaving. We'll be back in a bit.
Yeah, he gives you a wave as you're headed off there. Or sorry, no, you're speaking to Ivan. I thought you were speaking to Onar. Yes, you tell Ivan that you're going to be heading off.
I will also say goodbye to Onar.
Yeah, he gives you a wave.
Guess we're gonna go find a general store.
Okay. At the center of town, there is a general store which seems to be fairly substantial. It's quite large, and it has like a big warehouse sort of attached to it, a really large storage building, seemingly like built with a hallway that goes between the two. As you go towards the storefront area, you can see the sort of license across the top, Abdar's Goods. And through the window you can see there's like traveling rope and candles, tinder boxes, little like rations packed into little folded wax paper and all sorts of stuff like that.
Do we know where we're going to be heading first?
I don't think we have any idea.
On the next. Who has the map? Do I have it?
I don't know who's carrying
I
the
have
map.
it.
Oh.
I have it because I stole it when I escaped Arendor.
Ah, but the group might have one from before. Oh no,
I
because
think-
Mithranbor
No,
was
that was
carrying the
lost.
previous one, and you buried him with it.
Bit was.
Yep.
And he burned alive. Or in
Also
death.
that, yeah.
His corpse burned.
Okay.
So,
Your party is seemingly without a map, except for this one that your masked friend has produced once or twice along your brief travels.
I'll just go up to like the cleric and be like, excuse me, how far away is the next town?
Says, next town? Oh, let me see.
uh-oh. He's got
Yeah.
a bumpkin.
He goes reaching through there and he says, maybe a couple days? Why, where are you looking to get to?
We're not sure. We're just trying to prepare for all eventualities.
All Well, Vigny's a few days travel if you don't get stabbed out on the roads.
Well, how much
thank
are
you.
your rations here?
Oh, not too much. Oh, you want a real price?
Yes, please.
6 silver.
Feels like a lot.
What? 6 silver? That's not much.
That's table talk.
Oh.
That just feels like a lot to me.
Table talk, I think that's actually like cost of it.
6. No, it's 5 is the base.
There you go. So, not crazy.
So it looks like he's got a markup, but it's not crazy. Well, table talk. If Dudarin
Table
thinks
talk.
that that's a lot, then I guess that's a lot.
Then he might think that's a lot.
Suffered a lot of damage to the head in the last few days. I think everybody
True.
has.
Well, granted, I just like been like 55 gold.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
So-
you're probably feeling it. There goes most of the plat you made.
Buyer's remorse.
Well, there went all the plat I made.
What do you
Yeah,
think,
but-
dude? Should we buy 20 maybe?
Well, I currently have 4 on me. I don't know about the others.
I only have 2 myself.
This 20 is probably about what we'll need. Be safe, anyway.
We'll take 20 of them then, Shawkeep.
Okay. So let's see here. So yeah, 120. So yeah, 12 gold total. Yeah.
I'll hand them. Yeah, I'll give them 1 platinum and 2 gold.
Okay. It looks like Abdar takes this and quickly pockets it away. He goes, good, good. You looking to buy anything else?
I think we're good for now.
Right on. Well, if you need anything else, I'll be here.
Alright, alright, alright.
I'll take.
So at this point, let's cut back to you, Meneltier, and you're
Okay.
trying to puzzle over what you're gonna do about this. It looks like
Right.
the gem is like trying to change its size to make sense here and fit
Right.
properly, and you feel like you can almost influence that. Like when you kind of move it to a different part of the circle or a different part of the staff, it's like your will is sort of able to make the gem larger or smaller.
Right. Okay. So, I place it like dead center. And I guess I think about enlarging it enough to where it is firmly in place.
Okay. It looks like it starts to do so, and it gets larger, but it stops at a point, and if you kind of like remove your hand from it so that the gem is like free floating there to see if it's actually stuck in place, it just kind of like tumbles out and lands on the floor.
Would an Arcana check reveal anything?
Most certainly not.
Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna put it there again.
Okay.
Wait, let me pull up my character sheet. Or my spell list, my bad. I would like to attempt cast if I don't have like a target, can I still cast something like Friends? Something in the kind of charm school of magic.
Oh, you could definitely attempt, though you wouldn't know what would happen with that. Like, you're not sure what the result would be if you cast a spell that was targeted at something that's incompatible with what it does.
Right. Okay. So the gem, when placed in the middle, it gets large enough to a certain point and then stops. Not large enough to stay affixed. Though.
Exactly. Yeah.
How is it larger than what it originally was?
It's roughly about that inch, unless these circles that you have on there are really large. Like you can extend
No,
the
they're not
size of this
super
gem to
large.
like a baseball almost, if need be.
Right. Huh. So, I don't know. So, if I kind of hold it in place there for like a good minute, does it do anything?
No, it doesn't. It seems
It
to
doesn't.
just stay there and wait. It
And
stays
wait.
the same size that you're thinking of and just sort of rests in that position.
Okay. Could I run through like would I have any knowledge of like a known list of common activation words for magical items?
Oh, you would have some that you can think
Mhm.
of, and if you run through them after a minute or two, you note that nothing happens.
Okay. I'm kind of like looking frustrated now.
Fucking dwarves, man.
Dwarves. If I say any of them in Dwarvish, does that make a difference?
No, it doesn't.
Okay. Now going through that list twice, even more frustrated. Ugh. um. I'm gonna place it down on a table or the bed if there is no table,
Okay.
with it in that position, and then just kind of sit and think about it.
Sure, yeah, you
I'm
just
gonna
kind
need
of put
another
it on
minute.
the little nightstand there, sit on the bed and stare at it for a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Back over in the town, Ivan, your hammer is now fixed. It looks much better than it did before, and you see as you're finishing up the project and you kind of like douse the hammer over in a pail of water, that Onar approaches you and he goes, not bad.
Oh, thank you. And thank you again for letting me use your smith. Quite helpful.
Of course.
Okay, so assuming my hammer's done, I'll head out looking for my party members.
Okay. You find them at the center of town where most of the townsfolk seem to kind of like congregate and chit-chat, and they're stepping out of a general store.
Okay, sort of wave to them as they're heading out.
Okay. Yeah, you guys, you can see that Ivan is over there in the corner.
Here, we got you some food. And I'll shove 5 rations into his hands.
Oh, you're gonna say into his mouth.
No.
Thank you.
Okay. What are you guys gonna do? The three of you are here at the center of town. It seems to be midday, and there's people kind of wandering about and stuff like that.
Should we go see if there's any reward for killing those bandits?
It's a good idea.
Ah. Okay, where are you going?
Gonna
They're,
ask the nearest person where the guardhouse is.
Okay. Asking a peasant who's walking by, he kind of points off in a direction, and you see that there's a little house on the outside of town that looks very sort of military, like it's very stock and sturdy. Nothing really special or particularly homey looking about it.
I guess we'll head
Start
over
heading
there.
The area has a few like training dummies and things like that you can see upon getting closer to the house. And there's a few people that look like they're essentially a part of a militia outside, and they're clearly guard, but they're not as sort of well equipped as what you would expect, having seen cities like Everwatch and Volume.
Okay. Walking up to the nearest guard I can see. Excuse me. There's a bounty out on some bandits around town.
Yep. The troubling travelers up to the north.
What's the reward on them?
I'll have to speak with the captain about that. You see he points over to somebody who looks like he's instructing some other militiamen over by the training dummies.
Alright. I'll head over to the captain.
Yeah, he sees your approach and kind of steps away from his disciples for a moment and goes to speak with you. And gives you three a look. And then waits to see what you have to say.
We hear that there's a bounty on some bandits around the town.
There might be. Who's asking?
I'm Ivan, Zagataka, and Dudarin.
He gives you all a look, And it says you're not any members of the any factions around here, are you?
No, we are not.
He looks over to Zai and then Dudarin. Do you guys say anything?
No.
No, not unless the lucky bastards are a faction.
He kind of squints for a moment when you say that, and then looks back over at you, Ivan. Says, there's some bandit troubles. Not too much gold that Arbison can offer up for it, but there's a small sum.
How much?
20 gold. It seems that there's a patch of them up towards the north and then a bit east. A few of them in the forest to the west as well, but haven't heard much from them in a while.
Okay, so north and to the east is not where we came in, right?
So you came in straight through the north.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. It looks like according to... well, let's see. You don't have the map, so you'll have to go off of memory. But yeah, to the north and to the east, there's apparently some bandits. And a $20 bounty on their heads.
Well, I'll turn to Dudarin and Zai. Did we come in from the north?
We came from Valoo. Pretty sure that's north.
Yes, I think we did.
I'll turn to the guard captain. The road to Valoo, that's the north road, yes?
Says, yep. But if the paper's true, then not much left of Valoo.
Well, if that's the case, then the bandits to the northeast have been taken care of.
Taken care of. That can't
Yes.
be.
Yes, we killed them on our way down here, actually.
Found them harassing traveler we had met on the road, so, well, decided to help them out.
You see, he kind of pauses for a second and scratches his chin, looking off into the distance. And he says, no, somebody's already claimed the reward for that.
Oh, really?
Yes, they,
So, why are you still offering the reward, then?
well, it's not completely done. Apparently there were a few bandits in the little eastern forest there, and they were dispatched, but that's been paid for. The job I'm offering you is in the opposite direction, towards the east.
Well, who did you pay?
Man by the name of De Niro from Zorencia.
De Niro.
I see. Then I guess we can tell all the townspeople that it's been taken care of. It'd be quite troublesome if the bounty was removed and the bandits weren't dead, though. Ooh, travelers start leaving the town and get into quite a bit of trouble.
He pauses for a second and says, I'm not sure I like your tone, dwarf.
What do you mean? Not the point of putting a bounty on bandits?
Like I said, that was but one batch, and there is another.
I see.
Still
But
had
there's a
recent attacks from these ones in the east.
And you say that there's a 20 gold bounty on them.
Yes.
Would you require any kind of proof that they've been taken care of?
I'll scout it out, but if you can bring me either the heads or fingers of these bandits, that would help.
I see.
You can see he's quite stern, and he's not really making any effort to hide it, and he looks like he's kind of displeased by the group, but not entirely willing to retract the job from you.
Turn back to the party here. Well, I know I could use the coin. Did we take the job?
Should we perhaps wait to see what Amarth comes up with tonight?
Alright.
I suppose the bandits will still be here tomorrow unless this De Niro takes care of them.
turning back to the guard captain. I assume it'll be all right if we take a night to think about it.
Of course.
All right then.
He steps away from your group. No real goodbye or anything like that, and goes back to training the militia over by the training dummies. What do you guys want to do? It's getting later in the afternoon now.
I don't have anything specific. I'd probably just wander around town until dinner, and then head back to the inn.
All right. Anybody else in this group aside from Meneltier?
I mean, I'm just gonna. I do have one more.
Yeah,
idea.
of course. So you're over here and you've been staring at this rock on the little table side there. What do you want to do?
So I pick it up again, and I move it around the entire top of the staff, seeing if it kind of reacts to anything, or almost in like an intelligent way, like it wants to be somewhere.
Oh, it doesn't look like it. It seems to resize depending on where you're about to hold it. However, it doesn't look like it's almost like trying to move in one direction or the other.
Okay. Then knowing that this is its domains are charm, the ocean, and travel, I'm gonna attempt to cast charm person.
Interesting. The spell fizzles out as you do, and it's clear that you've cast it to the letter and everything that you've done is proper, but no effect seems to happen. The stone doesn't respond, and you can tell that there's been like no real connection made, and the magic hasn't set in or anything like that. It just and it's off.
Okay. Why won't you? There's nothing I know about how to socket this. Only that it's only activated when socketed.
Yes. Yeah, you don't know the process of making it.
What would a dwarf do? Is there anything heavy in this room?
Yeah, there's like a candle holder nearby.
I try to hit it into place.
Okay, so you place the gem back inside of the circle, and once it's there, kind of like take the candle holder and like smash it down, and you're frustrated at this point, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, you can feel like
I've resorted to the violence of war.
when high elves get irate. You take this candle holder and smash down, and you can feel like you're almost like channeling your anger into this. Suddenly a blinding light just like shines out, and you hear like a magical like sigil almost go off, and when the blinding light is gone, the gem is like perfectly socketed there and has been like seemingly woven into like the metal almost. So now you can see that there's like a ring of metal that comes down from the top of this first ring and then goes all the way around and encircles the stone, and it's firmly set in there.
And I just go, like, shaking my head in kind of like disbelief, but with a smile on my face. Fucking dwarves.
You can see there's like a wisp of smoke that comes off of the candle holder from where you struck it.
Fucking dwarves. But I inspect my staff to see what kind of additional magical elements it now possesses.
Ah, interesting. Absolutely. Now, this is going to take a brief minute, so we're actually going to take a 5 or 10 minute break if you guys don't mind.
Yeah.
Not a problem.
Okay. I will also ask, how much time do we have this evening? How many more hours do we have from here?
I'm good for full time.
Probably 3?
Yeah, I was
Okay.
going to say 3 for me as well.
3
Yeah, that
sounds
works.
good. Alright, we'll be back in a few, folks. Find out what this staff does.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. Wow.
Womp womp.
I should have figured. Hit it like a dwarf.
Hey, you just smashed the shit out of it.
Like-
I'll be right back.
In order
Well, I
to
mean, if
make
something
things,
happened
need
to you,
first
like,
break them.
one of us would have to deal with it, and all of us would have just tried to smash it in there, so.
Yeah. Try and like
Nope.
advanced magic.
Don't break it, we'll end up in debt.
Yeah, it'd be bad.
More debt. Hello, my name is Judarin, and this is my favorite shop in the Citadel. That was
So
pretty great. That was pretty great.
Like what, blue steel something?
Yeah.
Got it.
So who, Taslin, is it your group that has the other Sovereign Stone, or was it Monday?
No, it's Monday.
Monday, okay.
I wish we had a sovereign stone.
Oh,
We
keep
could go
watching, and you'll
compliment-
wish you never get one.
What? No. Want it? We're like the perfect place to get one, but we rolled a 3 on our Raven dice.
Oh no.
Like we're in some like old dwarven ruins,
Okay, there you
like
go.
ancient 1,000-year-old dwarven ruins.
Of course.
You're working too hard for it. You're
I
gonna
feel
just
like-
get handed it by a devil.
Exactly. You don't
I
have
mean,
to...
we did end up finding like an ancient elven artifact and a bar of mithril, so I mean, I guess we can't
You're
complain.
fucking kidding me.
No.
Fucking... Everything Mithranbor wanted, everyone else got.
Ivan's gonna become the most famous blacksmith ever.
Swear to God. Mithranbor is just in hell, just furious. He doesn't know why.
On the contrary, Onar is probably gonna be the most famous blacksmith ever.
There you go. Onar, supplier of Dudarin. We come back and Arbison is like this huge city now because of all the blacksmithing trade that's now bustled into the city.
Can't believe actually Illusion rolled that d20 and to see if he knew Dudarin, he
yeah.
rolled a nat 20.
That's not the first time that's happened.
We are the lucky bastards.
Yep.
Since we saw the die, I'm still counting it under the net 20s.
Yeah, I wish I had like thought to look at that, but oh well.
What is your
Is what
nat
it is.
20 counter up to right now?
17.
I think we missed
Wow.
some from last week.
I think
You
so,
might
too.
have, because I wasn't here for most of it, so.
Like we had quite a few last week.
Thought my food would be here by now. I'm very hungry.
What did you get?
Family, like, had to go out and they were gonna bring some,
Ah.
like, pasta or something back.
Sitting there. Please bring me food. Text them. Are you home yet? Are you home yet? Where's my food?
I would know when they're home. I just realized, like, I brought up the sea beast, and Dude Aaron would not do that.
We all make mistakes. It happens. I am back. Has everybody gotten their food and the like?
I'm
I'm
here.
ready.
Guess nobody's here?
I think everybody's here. Relic, are you there?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Sweet. Alright, let's dive back into it, boys. Real short
Oh,
break.
let's see.
Oh boy.
User disconnected from your channel.
Okay.
All right. Time to figure out what this staff fucking does.
Okay. So, you've just socketed the staff. Now, something rather strange happens. You've learned in the time over at the arcane colleges of the High Elves a few things about magical items and how often they had to be identified and things like that. However, here, as you hold the item, perhaps because of how it was made or maybe something specific to the gems, you can actually just tell what the intrinsic properties of the staff are. It's like they've just been ported directly into your mind. You know that this staff, while you're holding it, will convey, let's see here, advantage when talking with creatures of the ocean and making persuasion checks with them. You also know that a single time per day, it'll allow you to cast the spell Water Walk.
So, would I gather that the advantage when talking to, I mean, obviously not in those exact words, but advantage when talking to sentient ocean beings, would that be the intrinsic charm effect of it?
It's difficult to say. As long as you're wielding the staff, you'll have advantage when speaking with creatures of the ocean, and it's persuasion that you're attempting to do.
Right.
You're not sure if that's because the staff makes you perhaps look like you're somebody more worthy of trust, or perhaps if it'll, once you go and try to use it, actually change how you speak and make you seem perhaps more eloquent to them or something like that. But regardless, it'll make you more convincing.
Okay, so advantage when talking to ocean creatures, when I'm trying to persuade them,
Yep, only for persuasion checks.
and once per day water walk.
Yes.
Excellent.
Oh. I think that's the sound of Wallace's food.
Might be.
So yeah, go ahead and write that down. If you want to christen it or give it a name, now might be the time. But you were there for the meeting, so you know that it's possible that this item is kind of like on loan.
Right. I won't name it just yet. I'll be thinking about that.
Yeah. So you managed to do this. What do you want to do? Do you want to stay in the room? Do you want to find your companions? Do you want to sleep for the night? Wait till the stars?
Don't actually know where you are.
Yes.
Do I have not take mess? Oh, give me 1 second. Okay. Okay, so I have no way of contacting them. Good. I'll step out of my room and I guess wander a little bit. Kind of sticking side streets, shadows, looking for them.
Okay. So you wander about the town and get a couple of strange looks every now and then. Being a sort of masked man in a set of robes in like a little farming village definitely gets you some attention. But you try and avoid it and try and sort of stick to areas where people pay attention to you. And eventually manage to find your party, and it looks like they're just kind of leaving the center of town.
Okay. I approach. I mean, I just go up to them. Come with me. I found an inn. They follow me.
Yeah.
Are you guys
Okay.
live? Jesus.
I mean, I think we'd be a little taken aback when he just comes out of the shadows.
With the discreet follow me. Okay. If you follow Mental Tyrann, he takes you to another inn nearby, and it looks like this one actually has a smaller dining area, and it doesn't look quite as nice, but there are rooms at the back.
I walk back into my room.
Okay.
What time of day is it?
It's late in the afternoon, and if you wait a few more hours, the stars will begin to show.
How long until they're very, like, prominent?
Maybe like oh, I don't know, like 6 hours maybe.
Okay, I go into meditation.
Okay, yeah, you go to meditate then. What do you guys want to do? Get like an early long rest, or do you guys want to like grab something to eat, or get your own rooms, or what's up?
Yeah, I'll just sit down and probably grab something to eat before. No, I probably won't even get a room.
Okay. So
Yeah.
you sit down here and go ahead and kind of wait it out. It appears that food here isn't very expensive. It's only about 5 copper pieces. And eventually it gets later into the evening. Let's see. Are you guys gonna go out into like the fields or try and read from town? Like it's now quite late and there isn't really anybody out and about.
Right. Where would I gather? I would get the best kind of view.
Away from civilization a little.
Yeah.
You'd wander into the field.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
I gesture for them to come with me.
So they all follow behind, I assume. Are you gonna all go with Metal Tier?
Yeah, I'll go with him.
Okay,
I'll follow.
Yes, and I'll be back in just a second.
sure. While Koala's getting back, how about you go ahead and roll for me the check that you'll be doing, which in this
Okay.
case we will do a straight intelligence check.
Okay. So what is my intelligence? I'm pretty sure.
Try and read the stars.
Let's do it. That's a 10.
It's a 10. Okay. So, you know that the stars themselves are actually planes in heaven, and that their positioning changes over time, and the way that they're arranged and the way they connect to one another can sometimes foretell past events or perhaps even future ones. And as you kind of scour them and try and glean something, you end up feeling somewhat disappointed. The news that has to do with Dudairn and his prophecy is still there, but hasn't changed a single bit, and there's no continuation to it.
Okay. So
However,
okay.
sorry, did you have a question there before?
No. Continue.
You do see something else, though. You managed to read another omen. However, given that your roll was kind of poor, it seems almost incomplete. Go ahead and roll for me an insight check to interpret what this omen is, or what this message means.
Right. No.
Interesting. Okay. You're not sure what to make of it. It speaks of all sorts of things from the birth and death of gods to time being stretched across expanses, and a lot of the words that you kind of pick up from this are just like, they're nonsense. They don't really make any sort of intelligible sense to you. You spend your time staring at them. Perhaps you'll need to get an evening where there's less cloud or something like that, or check in
Right.
again later. But right now, it's just like there's something else in the stars, not related to Dudairn, a separate prophecy that you're kind of able to see the beginnings of, but you don't know what it is.
Right. Okay, so I put my mask back on and group and shake my head. I don't know. Something there, but nothing coherent. Perhaps the planes are moving. They will tell me something more clearly later, but for the time being, there's nothing new for Dudairn. And there's a troubling omen, although I do not know the specific.
I do not like the sound of this omen.
Nor do I. Perhaps another night, able to glean.
We want to stay in this town longer, or perhaps head out on the road. Suppose the closer to wilderness, perhaps
is-
the more clear the message will be.
Perhaps. It's also not very good for me to stay in crowded places for a long time.
So are you gonna kind of like creep out into the wilderness and see if, traveling for a few hours will yield you a better vantage point?
Oh, Make our way now?
Is that the plan?
Can we look around and see if there's like maybe just a higher point that we could get to?
Oh, interesting. Nearby, let's see, there's the forest towards the west, and there's an open plain towards the east. There's also the gigantic mountains of Marenheim over there, and the ground kind of moves gradually up almost in that direction. So at the further that you travel east, perhaps the better the view that you'll have. But there's no real, like, hills or mountains nearby. Those are all kind of past and off in Nomentar and Freehold.
So I guess I looked at the group. Where do we wish to go next? Aaron seemed interested in the tale of some beast.
Well, do you still have a map, Darth?
Yes, of course. And I pull it out and cast light on my staff and just hover it over it. Actually, no, I don't cast light because he's an elf and I assume he can read it. Or actually, I would assume anybody could read it. Anybody with good enough eyes.
Okay.
You don't have as good an eye as an elf. I mean, what are you good for, you know?
There you go.
Alright, so once you've got the map out, I'll just point down to by. Well, it said the creature was down there. Suppose we want to keep heading south.
Yes, do we want to take the east road or the west road, however? East road will likely increase our elevation very slightly, but that may give me a chance for a better reading.
Well,
Quick question about this map here. What can you get from Sov to Lenma?
According to the map, there's no road between the two. However, you could just trek across the wilderness, presumably.
So motioning over to there, suppose if we traveled east, there might be a chance to run into Dwarven ruins. Might be something Ivan would be interested in.
Perhaps.
I'm looking at the map, like, squinting really hard, because I don't have dark vision.
Do I notice this?
yeah, dude, Darren's nearby. It's really dark outside, and he's just kind of like trying to stare at this map.
I go. I snap my fingers, and a very small ball of light appears above the map.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, yes.
Well, there's
light's
definitely...
also a vacuum cleaner. Sorry, the timing was perfect.
Yeah, I don't know why my computer's doing that. There's definitely more towns to the east. Make the risk of running out of food a lot less worrisome.
Make our way then?
Yes, let's start to head east. Perhaps get a better vantage point.
Excellent.
Dropkeep did say that the town was only days away, though.
Okay, so are you gonna get on the road and basically start your travel? Or is this like a thing that you're just gonna do for a few hours and then hopefully go back to Arbison?
I'm assuming travel. I have all my things with me. I would have taken. I wouldn't have trusted humans with my things in a room.
Okay.
None of us got rooms, I don't think.
Yeah, it was just Meneltier. Though he paid for 3.
Oh no, I just gave him a tip.
So what's the plan here, guys?
Do we want to just like perhaps head east a little bit off the path, get elevated a bit, so you can get a better vantage point to the stars, and then if not, just head east to Bigby?
That's an excellent idea.
I wouldn't want to waste time. So if we head east, we should just camp on the road. We're nearby it anyway.
You all travel east, and whether or not you decide to eventually meet and go to the road and start on new travel, or return back to town, or whatever it might be, maybe go further into the wilderness, you do spend a couple of hours wandering out in that direction. And I'll roll some luck for you to see what we get here. Not too bad. The omen speaks of a battle between the gods, and it also speaks of a great deal of subterfuge. You can also see the word prison is in there as well. That's all that you can glean. And it looks as though it's almost incomplete. The stars haven't finished moving to read the rest of it to you.
Right. I just say, it is as I thought. The planes have not finished moving to Omen.
They not tell you anything yet?
There will be, or there is, or there has been, a battle between the gods. There is a great deal of real me can't say the word, I would assume.
Subterfuge.
Subterfuge. I would assume Mental Tian would have said that without a hitch.
Yes, no, he nailed it.
There will...
It means stealth. It's a big word
I
for
understand.
stealth.
I know. It's just, I don't know why I stumbled on that word. So
I mean, as long as it's like when you get rope, you'll be
yeah.
fine.
A great deal of subterfuge will take place. Of what I do not know,
It's very
and
interesting.
something about a prison.
In prison, I'm not sure. But tales of wars between gods. Theo works for a master, of which we do not know. And it sounds as if Hazard is working for some
Spoke of
similar
the Dark
type of
Star.
master.
Not?
Sounds like we may already be caught up in this war between these gods.
That would make sense.
Answers my question then.
Darren is meant to save the world from a great evil. We do not know what it is yet.
Which one is the greater evil?
What do you mean?
Well, there's the Children of Chaos on one side and devils on the other.
They are merely pawns in this. The gods have larger agendas to fill. Perhaps this has something to do with the falling of the Dark Star, of which you asked, Merchant. It may hold great value to someone, or some god.
Something tells me we may be brought to the fire plane after all.
Regardless,
Please no.
I say no, Darren. You are meant to save the world. If it means going to the plane of fire, you will.
I don't like your prophecies.
No.
You realize the ruler of the fire plane wants me dead, right?
Darren, it is not our place to question elven prophecy.
It is not an elven prophecy, it is a prophecy. It has no allegiance, it merely is. Although, it does not surprise me now that when I read it, it spoke of this hero as a fate refuser. Darren, although you may not like what you were dealt, is the will of something greater.
I am definitely praying to Autumn about this.
Well, let's find a place near the road to camp.
Okay. So you guys go off and head towards the road. And it's late in the evening. You're feeling a little bit of sleepiness starting to come on, some yawns here and there.
I've gotten a full rest.
Oh yes, no, you're a little different because of the weight there.
Yeah.
Do you guys wish to camp out near the road here? So if you travel for a little bit, you're like just barely outside of Arbison. Like you know that there's a fork in the road coming up soon.
That's fine with me.
let's see how things go.
Yeah.
Alright.
Great.
What is the watch order?
I don't know who else will watch, but I'll stay up the entire time.
Okay.
I'll be up for 4 hours of it. I'll say, I don't know, first 4.
Okay.
I'll go after that.
Alright. As you all kind of settle down there, Zai and Alucien, you're still awake. And
Yes.
do you guys chit chat about anything during the time, or just kind of stare off into the distance? The
I
rest
don't
of your party is asleep.
I won't initiate any conversation. I'll probably look over the newly crafted staff a little bit. Flip through my spell book. Almost like kind of busy work.
Right. How about you,
Kind
Zai?
Kind of continue to like look up at the stars and kind of write some more notes down.
Right.
I'll probably just kind of talk to him a little bit as he's doing his thing and just fill him in a little bit on like my backstory, just the monastery I came from and what we did and being woken up and all that stuff, just so he kind of has an idea of why I'm so confused with the world.
Oh, sure. Okay. Yeah, Zai tells you elaborate stories about his monk order and how he was sort of suspended in an undeath, like watching as the universe turned and everything like that.
How old is Zai?
Oh, no one's sure exactly.
No one's sure. Does he know when he fell asleep?
I don't believe so.
No. It would have. I would assume that stuff would have been like recorded at the monastery, but since
Right.
there's nothing left,
Yeah, so he's for like an indeterminate amount of time in the past, and the only thing
Right.
that he really has to try and kind of get across to you would be mentioning maybe like inventions or technologies or like events
Right.
and stuff like
Right.
that.
So I myself am a very old elf. So would I like kind of be able to pick out anything, like perhaps discern his age?
Yeah, go ahead and roll a history check.
Eesh, 10.
Not great. Okay.
Not great.
Describing some events, it appears that during Zai's time, the humans had already broken free, and Skyfall had been liberated, but it's difficult to place around when that was. So you don't know when in human history they're using that as like the kind of like the marker point, like the checkpoint. You're not sure in between then and now exactly where Zai is, and that whole
Right.
period of time took hundreds, thousands of years.
Okay.
So it's difficult. But you know that
when
he
did
isn't
the-
so old that he was in there when Nomentar and, like Arendor had conquered all of this area, sort of thing.
Right. When did I get like when did the humans like kind of find it, like when did the dust really kind of start to settle?
I don't have a specific date that I could give
No?
you there right
Okay.
now. I could produce that later.
Would it have happened within my lifetime?
No, definitely not. No.
Okay.
would
Way
I
before
know
your
who
time.
like how, as far as Nomentar goes? Would there be some sort of like big leader I would have known that was in charge at the time?
Oh, interesting. No, the different elven cities have their own different leaders. And so your monastery, very removed from that, placed out in kind of like the wilderness to its
Wouldn't
own.
really know any of that stuff.
Yeah, which is a very purposeful thing. Like, you're supposed to be as detached from that previous life as you can be.
Yeah, makes sense.
So while you're seated here, I'll have both of you please make a perception check.
I got 22.
2.
I got 17. Everything.
If that's the case, then you can hear, off in the distance, Zai, what sounds like something creeping through the bush nearby. Very small footsteps.
Just Zai?
Indeed.
Okay.
I'll alert Alucien
say-
as soon as I hear it.
I kind of like look up from my book. What?
Coming. I'll motion over where I heard it.
I close my book. with
Zai
one
points
hand.
to some bushes nearby. They've kind of protected your group from the fields off in that direction, and sure enough, as you kind of pause, it sounds like you might be able to faintly hear something.
Okay. I just pick up my staff and kind of point it in that direction. Kind of
I'm gonna
waiting.
I'm gonna try to go off to the side of the bushes, so like if there's anywhere I could kind of hide, where if it came out, I could kind of jump out at it and try to just blend in using Mark of the Wild.
Interesting. Okay. Let's see here. Alright, go ahead and roll a stealth check for me.
I'm assuming this middle part is the campfire.
Yes, indeed.
That is... Yeah, 8.
An 8. Okay, you go over there and start to attempt to blend into a bush nearby, moving to... go ahead and move yourself to one of the bushes up towards the upper area, one of these. So you heard the sound from over here.
Wait, sorry, from where? Over there? Yeah, I'll probably head over here.
Okay. As you do so, the sound disappears and things go silent. What are you doing there? It appears, Meneltir, that you're able to rouse your companions from their slumber, and
Okay.
both of you wake up to Meneltir and sort of calling for you to get up.
Oh no, I'm poking them in the face with the butt of my staff.
Oh, okay, yeah, for sure.
I'm not
Meneltir
that
is
nice.
gently rousing both Ivan and Dudarin.
Wadding him away and getting up. What is it?
Something. Not sure yet.
I'll attempt to look around. Do I see anything out of place?
Make a perception check.
Oh, there you go.
22.
You can see, just sort of barely off in the distance, that there is a group of goblins hiding out in these bushes here. And that it sounds like there might be more than just the ones there. They're being very, very quiet, and it's only sort of by seeing like the poking out of their feet there through some of the bottoms of the bush that you're able to kind of notice them.
Okay.
Do you alert us to that?
Assuming that Metal Tyran's still next to me because he woke me up.
Yeah,
Or...
yeah, he wouldn't have.
Okay.
He
So
would have been
I'll
just
kind of
standing there.
edge my head towards him. Turning to Darren. You kind of have trouble in the dark, don't you? Darren?
A little bit, yeah.
I say to Darren, get in front of me. Trust me.
Just stay close to me, and I cast light on my warhammer.
I say, unsheath your sword, and as he does, I'd like to cast minor illusion to set it aflame.
Oh, okay. The moment that you do that, you hear a bunch of shrieking that comes from the bushes over here, and a bunch of small creatures, only a few feet from the ground, with like clubs and spears in their hands, start just like running in your direction. Everyone, please roll an initiative check.
There goes the attempt to scare them.
Oh, wonderful physics.
Wonderful physics.
Gotta love it.
Let's try this flicking method.
That's what I've been doing. I like it.
There you go.
Works out alright.
Wait, did you already do your initiative there, Ivan? Was it the 15?
15.
Says that like it's a bad thing.
Okay.
Meanwhile, me over here with a 10.
So it seems that you two have rolled the same initiative, so move one above the other. It's your choice. You can move that.
My dex is probably lower, so...
I don't know about that. Ivan?
Sorry.
What's your dex?
-1.
Never mind then. I guess I'm going first.
Okay. So You're first up, Dudairn, and you can see all these creatures running out in your direction. They're shouting something in some strange language that you don't comprehend, and it looks like they're intent on skewering you.
Your sword is illusory flamed.
Got it. Can I actually see, though?
Ivan casts light on his warhammer.
So you have 40 feet around you, meaning that from where you are right now, Dudairn, so that would be 8. You can kind of see like this much. Or no, wait, so that would be, 4, wouldn't it? It's my math so bad. Yeah, so you can't actually see any of them. You can barely see his eye.
It's 8.
Am I okay?
It's 5 times 8. 5 times 8 is 40.
Right, okay. Yeah, so you can barely see some of the ones over there. Fuck, holy crap.
Well,
Some my marbles here.
You had it right the first time.
I thought so, yeah.
well, since I can only barely see any of them, let's just go after those.
Sure. Alright, so you're able to close with that one, and now that you're here, you can see some more off in the distance.
Hello, weird creature. Meet sword. $14.
14 does not hit, unfortunately.
Oh darn.
Is that your turn?
Yeah, I'm not gonna waste extra attack on this.
Sure. Ivan, you're up.
Okay, I will run at the closest one that I can hit with my movement speed.
Okay.
Else it's not gonna be good. Alright, I will dash, I guess, next to Dudairn.
Sure.
Not making any attacks.
Okay. After that, the creatures close on you, and they're very swift, just kind of like chattering random noises as they run over. It's difficult to tell what might be like battle cry and what might be just like incomprehensible gibberish. And let's see here. They crowd around you.
They saw him?
Indeed, they did.
Ah. Not quite sneaky enough.
Yeah, that thing big like 8 or 9 on stealth didn't help me.
Yeah, unsurprisingly. These two run forward, and let's see. They'll dash. Okay, so we have, let's see here, an attack on Dudairn, which is most assuredly a miss. And then, let's see, 3 attacks on Ivan. Oh, those might hit. Ivan, does a 19 land?
Yeah, it does.
Just a wee bit.
Any bit. Need my shield back.
You are struck by 2 of them, who swing their clubs at you and manage to deal 10 damage to you. And then next there are 4 attacks on Yuzai. So the first 2 being, let's see here, that's not great. The 11 was the highest there, and the next 2, oh, one of those is gonna hit at a 23.
Yep.
You take 4 damage as one of them manages to stab you in the leg with what looks like a spear, but it's really javelin sized. And they're all just sort of crowding around you and swarming about your body. Alucien, you're up next.
All right. These 2. They're coming at me.
It looks like they're charging directly towards you.
Okay. So I'm gonna cast Magic Missile at 2nd level.
Oh, okay.
So that's 4 darts. He gets. This guy gets 2. This guy gets 1, and this guy gets 1.
Sure.
Okay, so let's we'll do this guy first. No, I'm gonna flick that.
No trust for the dice tower.
Okay, so I'm assuming that doesn't count as a roll.
No, it doesn't. Wow.
So you can't flick D4s, guys. There you go. So that's 5 damage.
Okay, this goblin's still alive.
Right. We'll do the middle one, who's getting 2.
Yep.
2 plus 2 plus 5, so 7.
Okay. That one actually does die. And
Go.
the second strike as it comes in knocks him from his feet and he does not get up.
Okay. And the one next to Zai gets 5.
5. Okay.
Who did I transfer my curse to?
Who knows, man?
And then I'm going to... I have 30 feet of movement. I'm going to back over here.
Okay. Zai, it's your turn.
Okay, so first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna turn and hit, or try to hit that guy with my quarterstaff.
Sure.
Whack. Oof.
So that didn't hit. I'm gonna go. What do I want to do here? I'm confident I can kill him. I'm gonna use a key point to use flurry of blows to try to make 2 armed strikes. So the first on that guy that I damaged, or that is damaged.
There you go.
23.
23 on the damage one. That strikes. Yep. Go ahead and roll damage.
And then 6 damage.
Okay. With a heavy kick to the chest, you send this goblin sort of like flying a few feet off towards the ground, where he then like barrels off of the dirt, and then his corpse just like slides into the bush over here.
Alright, and I turn to the other 3, and then I try to get this guy here.
Sure.
Uh, 14.
14. Okay. 14 does not hit, unfortunately.
And that's it. That's my turn.
Okay. You're up, dude, Aaron.
Let's try for like same guy, same sword. Better results?
Oh,
No.
that was a little bit of a tease.
Is that your turn?
I'm just gonna go sit in my corner now.
Ivan, you're up. You're being
Alright,
swarmed by these.
Swing at, say, that bandit, or that goblin.
Sure.
That's gonna be, I believe, 16?
Okay, yeah, that hits.
Thank God. For 5 damage.
Okay. He's still standing as you smash him with your warhammer.
I'm actually gonna throw a bonus action outcast spiritual weapon.
Okay.
I'll throw it out. I can't draw. Terrible. I got like a marker of some kind.
Oh, for the spiritual weapon?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. How about you use this NPC initiative thing?
Perfect. I'm gonna use that to attack the same one again.
Sure. Oh, there you go.
20.
Yep, that'll hit.
Murder him.
Murder
Them
him, he says.
all. And that is 6.
Okay, there's a heavy metal clang as this spectral hammer hits the side of this goblin and sends him just reeling to the ground.
Good. That's my turn.
Okay. After that, you can see that, let's see, this one here charges and gets directly up in front of you, Metal Tier, and has his spear, and he's holding it in 2 hands, and he looks like he's going to try and just, like, stab it right into your stomach. The 3 over here are attacking you, Zai, and these ones over here, I'm going to roll for them. Okay, well, they got a 1. They all freak out at the sight of this hammer, and they all turn and just disengage from you and start running off.
Okay, so they do like a full disengage.
Yeah. they're not interested. They're just like screaming. One of them accidentally drops one of his weapons on the ground. There's like a little dagger that tumbles out of his hand. Let's see here. But there are 3 attacks on Zai. Zai does a 17 hit.
Yes, it does.
How about a 15?
No.
No, okay. You take 4 points of damage as one of them manages to club you in the leg. And it's your turn, Mentaltier.
Give me 1 second. I want to see if... No, okay. I didn't think so. I can't cast Magic Missile if he's right next to me, correct?
No, you can. Magic Missile doesn't give any fucks. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
It homes, so there's no attack rolls.
he's fucking dead. Well, I mean, like, casting a spell when someone's in combat range.
Oh, yeah. No, that's fine. I don't think that disrupts it.
He's fucking dead. Magic Missile, 1 on him and 2 on him.
Sure, okay.
It has a 120-foot range, so.
Yep, yeah, no, the range on Magic Missile is nuts. Go ahead and
So-
roll the damage.
The minimum damage is 2.
Yes.
He has already sustained 5.
Yeah, the one running at you, he's bleeding from his forehead. It's clear he's taken some injury.
So dead. That's 3 damage.
Okay, yeah, so the first one doesn't have to travel far at all. It's almost like just a burst in front of you as it hits him and sends him falling into the fire nearby.
And the other 2. 3, 5, 6, 7.
Okay, so those fly out, and they strike this one over here and manage to kill him. And Zai, you can see that the 2 goblins look over and see one of their companions knocked to the ground from these magical darts that fly out. And they immediately kind of look at one another, and it looks like they no longer want to be here. Mentaltier, is that your turn?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, that is my turn.
Okay. You're up, Zai.
Alright, I'm gonna hold my quarterstaff out, and I'm gonna point it at this guy, and then back at this guy. And I'll
Okay.
just kind of question back and forth, and then I'm gonna decide on this guy here, and try to swing and hit him
Okay.
in the head.
You see there's this moment where you point at one, and he kind of like takes a couple steps back. And then you point at the other one, and he kind of takes a couple steps back. And then you go to swing at him, and like, he just kind of goes, ah! Before like this swing comes towards him. Go ahead and roll. Let's see if you manage to hit. Oh
Damn it.
no!
All of our dice.
Okay, so that's an 11, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, you miss, unfortunately, and he ducks while screaming and then just, like, turns to run away. Is that your turn?
Now I'm gonna use a key point and try to hit him 2 more times.
It's going for blood. Oh my god!
I missed the first
Should
one. Last one.
Should I start tracking 4s?
Yeah, well, that's a 16.
Okay, that hits. If you can roll a 4, you'll kill him. Hey!
Hey, there it is.
Okay, so he's running away, and he's got enough distance that, like, your first kick is a miss, and then so you, like, run forward and get, like, a roundhouse, and you hit him square in the back, and you think you hear, like, his spine break, and his friend is just, like, screaming, running in the other direction, while this one's corpse just falls to the ground. And after that, Dudarin, it's your turn. It's clear that none of these goblins are interested at all, and they just start running away. What are you gonna do?
I can still see them, thankfully, so I'm just gonna
Yeah.
chase after one of them.
Yeah, sure. It doesn't look like they can quite outrun you right now, and you managed to close with one.
No, I'm sorry, Dice Tower. I'll use you and I'll be good.
Watch, it'll be good. The dice tower is always good. Okay, and
Different thought.
sometimes it's good.
What was that? That always? Was that the word you used?
I think always. No, I said sometimes. I'm pretty sure.
I think I
always-
deserve advantage for the
yeah,
DM
always.
lying to me.
The misinformation. Is that your turn?
That's great. I'll extra attack. I'm about to go back to sleep anyway.
There you go.
Okay, Ivan, you're up.
Okay, I'm going
Oh,
to.
Oh,
He's-
I
he's
forgot I
extra
had.
attacking.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sorry, what?
He's
Uh,
extra attacking.
Oh, an extra attack.
Yeah,
Yeah, 'cause I'm about to go to sleep.
Your action
From the-
strike? Okay, yeah, go for it.
action surge, yeah. That's a
Oh,
17.
yeah.
17? Yeah, that'll
Plus, so 21.
Yeah.
Oops.
hit. Oh, off it goes. Go ahead and roll your damage.
7.
Okay. With a swing, you're able to decapitate him. And while he's running, you hit him square in the neck, and it just, like, his head lops off with ease, rolling to the ground, his, like, tongue sticking out, and the body takes a couple more steps before just, like, crumpling over.
Please tell me the head like lands in front of one of his friends.
No, it does not, unfortunately.
Damn it.
Let's see here. Ivan, you're up.
Okay, I'm going to move my hammer to here.
Sure.
Make an attack on that goblin.
Okay. Oh,
Holy shit.
nice.
Holy hits.
Oh,
9.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, your hammer just, like, clobbers down. As it swings down, you can see as the goblin's head, like, caves in.
Yes. And then I don't think I can quite make it. Out of
Throw your
range.
hammer.
Well, I might attempt that at some point. I'm gonna cast Sacred Flame instead.
Oh, okay. So I'll make a dex check for him. They have to pass what?
I believe it's a 15. Let me double check. 13. Sorry, 13.
13? Ah, he gets a 14.
wow.
That'll be my turn.
Okay. So this creature continues running and manages to get a pretty impressive distance. I think it gets right to about here. And this one here's just like starts running. He doesn't try to disengage, he just panics and
Murder him.
beams off. You can
Oh,
get
just
an
let him run.
opportunity attack if you'd like.
No, that's okay.
Okay, yeah, you let him run. His friend, like, dead nearby, you just let this one turn, and you see he just runs into the field screaming.
How?
At this
100
point,
120 feet. How far is that?
120... so 24 squares here?
Oh, that's a beautiful thing that you just said, because that's 23 right there.
Yeah, it's, like, just in there.
Oh, guess what he's getting? 3
guys-
magic missiles.
You are all
Right
in
in the
pseudo-combat. If you would like to go ahead and do that, please roll the damage.
I'm gonna do 2 to him and 1 to him.
Sure, yeah.
Because they should both. I believe he's. Or is
That
he?
one, the one to the left is out of range.
What's he at?
26.
All right, then I'll just go ahead and move right over there. That should put me.
Yep, just barely.
Beautiful.
And also doing another Sacred Flame at him.
Okay, yeah, go
Okay,
ahead. And
so-
let's see, I'll do a check for him.
The one on
He
the
passes.
one on the right gets 5, 6, 7 damage.
Okay. The darts fly out really far. You can see it's like they're pinpricks of light just getting more and more distant towards this creature running off, and then you hear like and a body slumping to the ground.
And the other one gets 4 damage.
4. Okay. This one takes 1 dart, and it doesn't kill him, and he continues running off. Your Sacred Flame explodes near him, but he's able to kind of dash out of the way, just like, and there's, like, magical effects going off all around him, and he's still alive and just, like, running into the distance, sort of like night horizon. Are you chasing after him further?
I'm not gonna waste my time.
I'm just gonna sheath my greatsword.
Okay. So, you are no longer in combat. This single goblin seems to be the only one that has survived and runs off into the evening and just sort of like screaming through the night air as he sort of disappears off.
Leave one alive to tell the tale.
Exactly.
Didn't say his name was Dudarin, though.
Oh, you're right. That's Zai's job, not ours.
I was busy on the other side. If I'm not near it, you have to take up the job yourself.
Well, shall we attempt to sleep again?
Yes, let's try that.
Okay, the rest of the night goes off without a hitch, and you wake up the next morning rested and feeling much better. You've managed to test out your new long sword there, Dudairn, or sorry, great sword, and Meneltir, and you finally get to cast a little bit of offensive magic after like a long trek across the lands.
Yeah, I would have been able to get a rest tonight as well, correct?
Indeed. Yeah.
Okay, good.
So everyone has got a long rest.
I got my spell slots.
Are you going to fast forward travel as far as you can towards one of these cities, perhaps, or are you going to set out some other kind of plan?
Meneltiern has nowhere specific that he wants to stop, other than our destination. Every couple of days, maybe like, every night he's gonna look to the stars and see if anything develops.
Oh, okay. And you're traveling to Vigny, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd probably keep an eye out, like, if we see anything in the distance that looks like any kind of dwarven ruins or anything like that. That might interest us along the way.
I'm going to do my best to ignore his prophecies every night.
Every night I regale him with how important he is to the fate of the world.
Okay. So you travel on, and let's see, a total of 3 days pass. So subtract what rations you need, and if any of you have, if you're gonna like search for food, let me know.
Was I given rations?
Yes, you were given 5.
Okay.
So is anybody gonna like,
I would attempt to
scrounge
scavenge and supplement the rations, yeah.
in the bushes and stuff? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead and roll survival. See what you get.
I'd probably try at least. I don't expect this roll to go very well.
18.
Oh wow.
Hey. And what was that, Ivan?
18.
Okay, so both of you two managed to find enough food to feed yourselves for the entirety of the journey. So you don't have to subtract any rations. The rest of you will have to subtract 3 each.
Okay.
And every evening where you go and stare at the stars, it seems like the prophecy hasn't moved. And you fear that perhaps the next chapter of this story hasn't progressed yet, or maybe you'll have to change locations and view the stars from some other area. But this little bit of travel that you've done hasn't revealed anything to you.
Right. Would I know how long it usually takes them to move?
Oh, the stars travel at an incredibly slow pace.
Okay.
And to make matters worse, some of them go faint and dim, and others come into view as well, seemingly at random.
Okay.
So it's a very sort of difficult art to the stars.
Right.
You all eventually do pull into the small town of Vigny, or should I say a large town. It looks like it's roughly about double the size of Arbison. And as you're approaching, you can see that it doesn't seem to have anything in terms of like walls around it or anything like that, but there are some stone buildings, and not everything here is made out of like wood with hay roofs and stuff like that. They have some proper fixings, and most notably, there's an incredibly large castle at the center of town that flies blue banners. There are farms that extend all the way out in pretty much every direction from this small town as well. There's no real interruptions or anything like that on your travel. You do see the occasional like merchant troop that has a bunch of guards with them and things like that, moving from one place to the other, but nothing strange.
As we approach the town, just without kind of like breaking stride or anything, Meneltiern just says, "We will gather supplies and we will continue going." Yes.
Barring any weird circumstances.
Excellent.
Which, by the way, happens quite a lot around us.
As we're kind of pulling into the city, and I take a moment to try and see if I see anybody in particular watching us, perhaps an agent of Theo.
Oh, interesting.
Is there any weird animals that keep popping up either, like that bird that was watching
Yeah.
us?
How about both of you?
Or squirrel.
Both of you roll a perception check. Anybody who wants to search for this can go ahead and roll.
Oh,
Perception. 15.
Okay.
7.
7. Okay. Were those the only 2 rolls?
I mean, unless someone mentions it to Ivan, he's not going to be checking.
No, Mental Tyrion wouldn't have mentioned it. He would have just kind of thought it.
Okay. So you go looking around to see if there's anything sort of suspicious, any creatures that might be watching you and stuff like that. And while you do see, like, you know, a dog or a cat running around through town, that sort of thing, nothing strikes you as being out of place.
Mm-hmm.
The folk here seem to be, for the most part, farmers and things like that, and you see a good deal of simple craftsmen, the occasional merchant trying to sell some wares from a stall on the side of the road, but otherwise it seems like a pretty normal town.
Okay. Well, unless someone else has particular business, I suppose as a group, we'll walk to the nearest general store.
Sure. Okay. Let's see here.
Is there
Also-
anything on those banners, or are they just blue?
Oh. The banners appear to be blue with like a golden filigree around it, but there's no actual
crest?
writing on it. Yeah, and there's
How
no crest or
long-
anything.
How long would I suspect the journey to Jubei be?
Oh, from here. Well, assuming you could travel across the wilderness at the same amount of time it would take, let's see, 4 plus 2, 6. 6, another 3. Goodness. Anywhere from like 15 to 20 days, depending on how things go.
Okay.
And how long would it take via the roads?
Yeah, 15 to 20 days. If
On the
you were
roads.
cutting straight through the wilderness, it looks like it could maybe be less than 10 if you could travel at the same speed of the roads. But,
No guarantee.
yeah, of course. It looks like, according to your map, that there's just a wide set of plains between here and Jian's sort
Right.
of jungles over there, and then there's a long, or at least a few days travel trekking through the jungles, and then you would get to the borders of Jubei.
Do I know anything about Jian at all?
Oh, yeah. Go ahead and roll. Go ahead and roll history if you have proficiency in it.
Well, I think I got it. You.
11.
An 11. Okay.
Cool, I got you. I got 18.
Okay.
Good,
An
you know
11.
the history of Jian 1,000 years ago. Perfect.
Exactly. So, unfortunately, Zai, you don't know anything about John. Despite that 18, you search your mind trying to figure anything out, and the name escapes you. However, Darren, you rolled the other one? Oh, no, sorry,
No.
Mental Tyrion. And you
Yep.
got, it was slightly above a 10.
Correct.
You know that Jian is one of the great countries of men, and you know that it's famous for its city of Jubei, which is the largest city in human existence. But apart from
Okay.
that, you don't know anything.
I don't know any. Okay, I wouldn't
Yeah.
know anything about perhaps the borders.
Yeah, you don't know what the borders are like, what the culture's
Oh,
like,
okay.
the customs, nothing.
Okay. Mental Tyrion would at the very least assume that this is a lot less guarded than this.
Who knows?
All right.
So you're all pulling in here, and you're going to a general store. And as you kind of make your way in there, you can see that it looks like a family-run general store. There's a couple of kids that seem to be like setting up a display or something like that, with like a ma and pa behind the counter. And as you make your way over there, they kind of give you some greetings and sort of wave towards you, and then just go back to their work, assuming that you'll kind of look at like the wares and whatnot.
Do they pay me any particular attention or
Oh, go ahead and
Any-
roll insight.
any, like what the fuck is with this guy? No. Too worried. That's a 4. I don't know if that That's good.
That's a 4? Okay.
It's 2 plus 2.
You're not sure at whether or not they're watching you. Being that you're a sort of masked character and everything like that, you'd think that they would, but it doesn't look like they pay you special attention.
I go up to the counter.
Okay.
And I say, "Hello, we need rations."
Of course. 7 silver apiece.
Have a problem with this, Dudarin?
No, this is like Murphy as a person.
Oh. I retract that statement.
After the sword, I'm a little. Dudaren's a little broke.
And the only guy that has money is the one that wants to buy 20 questions.
Yeah.
We perhaps get a discount for a large amount of rations.
The hero's discount.
You see the man kind of gives
Perhaps
you a
just
look, sigh,
a bulk discount. I was thinking.
He says, well, how much do you intend to buy?
At the very least, 20 days.
20 days for all of you? Or 20 rations?
Starting at 20 rations. If there be anything you...
Could lower the price a little bit. Maybe say from 140 to 120 silver?
I think that would be agreeable, but I think we'll get a little bit more than that, make it 40 rations in total.
40... Says, I'll make that deal for 200 silver.
100 silver?
200.
Excellent. That's 20 gold?
Yeah.
I lay it on the table.
Okay. He takes the 20 gold and produces 40 rations. It takes a little bit of time as his wife seemingly goes around the doorway there and keeps hauling out more for them for you. But
And
you're all able to stock your backpack.
We'll distribute them fully, so that's 10 each.
10 each?
And
Okay.
then, said there were children in here?
Yeah, there's 2 human kids that are definitely the offspring of this couple, and they're kind of like setting up a display over there. It looks like the youngest is maybe 8, and the older one's like 12.
What kind of display is it?
It's a little set with like leather armor on it.
I use... what would it fall under? Prestidigitation or minor illusion to say make the armor dance or something? Something interesting.
You could make an illusion of the armor moving, but I don't think prestidigitation can necessarily levitate really heavy stuff like that.
No, you would need animate object.
Yeah. So you do this illusion, and it looks like the armor moves for a second, and the kids both like pause and look towards you with wide eyes. They look equally surprised and sort of like in awe and joyous and terrified at the same time.
Meneltune just kind of chuckles a little bit to himself at the naivety of humans.
The kids kind of pause for a second, and it looks like they go to work on a different display. They're like, nope, no more of that. But it doesn't look like you freaked them out too much or anything like that. Are you guys purchasing anything else?
I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm good.
I'm not buying anything.
Okay.
Back up.
You head back outside into the town at large of Vigny there, and what are you gonna do?
Make our way to Jubei, I would assume.
Are you going straight through the wilderness, or are you going
No.
to... No? No?
Oh, that seems like a bad idea.
Yeah.
Let's roll for it.
No.
Because
Well, whatever dude says goes.
I can make some rolls for you guys here. Are we doing 50-50?
Meneltune would be adamantly opposed to walking. Wait a minute, would he?
You might
I gotta
not.
think
There'd
about
be
that.
less chance of running into the border guard if you went through the wilderness. So there's that, but it also means trekking through gross wilderness, so...
Well, Dude Aaron's
I
would
mean-
more think about saving food.
Meneltiern, I mean, he trekked through the Badlands.
Yes.
I mean, he's been through shitty wilderness. So he's not terribly. How much? If you were to mark it as a percentage, that I would think, how much do you think less would it be going through the wilderness of running into border guards?
Considerably.
Okay, he'd be for it.
Also, the chat would like you to know that you're all a bunch of nubs for not having good berries.
We don't have a druid, chat.
Okay, so is that wilderness then? Is that what I see?
Yes.
Ooh,
Is
okay.
it wilderness or are we rolling for it?
Well, that would be rolling for it. Oh, are you saying, if you want to roll for it, Meneltiern won't argue. Like if you wanted to flip a coin.
Yeah, we could flip a coin for it. I mean, it'll less risk of border guards, possibly saving food. I'd say it's definitely worth it.
I think so.
Okay, so
I don't
let's
even know
see.
if we have to roll for it.
So
Maybe,
10 or above is wilderness?
Do we even want to leave this to chance? Perhaps we should just go through the wilderness.
Are there objections from the other members of the party?
Yeah, and I would
Not
follow
here.
you to the plane of fire and back.
Shut up with that. Shut up with that.
No, no.
This is a regular plane. Like with grass.
How about you, Ivan?
I'll follow the party for now.
Through the wilderness.
Woo.
Okay, alright. Give me 2 seconds here.
And that's how they die.
Never to be heard from again.
Never to be heard of. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so you start to travel in towards the wilderness. You only stop in the town of Vigny for a brief moment, restocking and picking up food for a long trek. And let's see here.
I'm somewhat good at survival. Should I roll to make sure that we stay on track? As time goes by?
You definitely will have to eventually here.
Would I be able to aid him in any way by using the stars as guidance?
It's possible. Sorry, I have mild technical issues here. Somebody is attempting to watch on Twitch, but it's not working for them.
Really?
Probably. Let's see.
Or did you switch to Twitch from Hitbox?
Indeed. Okay, so you guys go traveling through the wilderness and leave the town of Vigny. And let's see, you managed to get... Oh, not bad at all. Okay, so go ahead and roll survival checks for whoever is leading the group.
If I wanted to aid using the stars, would that be a survival?
You can go ahead and roll an intelligence check, and if you get above a certain number, I'll let you add your proficiency to his roll.
Okay.
Oh.
Nope, no.
Nope.
That's a 6.
No help from the stars today, boys.
Okay, well, how many of these do I need to make?
A single check for this first bit of travel.
Can I assist him? As I don't have proficiency, but I have the high mod.
That's a 9.
A 9? Okay.
Yes.
Without proficiency, no, unfortunately not. As you go traveling along, you go for 7 days trekking through the fields here, and you find that the whole travel off-road thing is fairly difficult, and you only manage to get right up to about here in these 7 days.
Oh.
The fields sort of roll, and every now and then somebody falls through a little dugout hole in the ground where some sort of weaselly creature must have kept its burrow or something like that, and travel is slow despite the fact that it's just a field. So each of you let's see. Go ahead and subtract 7 rations, unless you're gonna roll survival here.
Going to attempt to roll survival.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna
gonna-
try.
Yep, go
Attempt
for it.
as well.
Yeah.
If you get a
Anyone
15 or
else?
above, you're fine.
Got a 9.
Is
I
my
got a 17.
Okay,
dice
so you're
messed
fine.
up?
Rolling survival? I got a nat 1, so whatever.
Wow,
Okay.
look at
Oh, I just
that was
moved
like
it.
it's physics though.
Okay, let's
Yeah,
see what
that
I
red die
actually get.
needed to be rerolled.
Oh,
Okay.
20.
So you managed to feed not only yourself, but somebody else. So it looks like altogether, the only one that needs to eat, there was one person worth of rations. So your group will have to subtract a total of 7, divided however you choose.
I'll
What did
subtract.
dude roll?
I rolled a nat 1.
I feed you.
So that left.
I'll subtract 2, I guess.
Yeah,
Or 3?
I'll subtract 2.
I'll
I'll subtract
subtract
3.
Okay.
So 2 more from someone.
Let's see here.
I can take 2 out.
Okay.
There we go.
Now, when you get here, you notice, according to your map, which you've been paying close attention to, that the border is incredibly near. And as you approach it, you can see that the fields here go for some time, and there doesn't appear to be anybody. There's no guard or anything like that, as it's just like a field with like tall grass that goes on for miles.
Is there anything that kind of distinguishes a border?
No, there's no fence. There's nothing.
Okay. Meneltiern kind of to himself, just kind of relieved.
Okay, so are you gonna proceed on?
Well, I think going back is particularly a great option at this point. We've already made it this far.
Okay.
Unless anyone has any objections.
Well, I mean, it can't get any worse, right?
Don't say that. Don't ever say that.
Okay. Another set of survival checks from you, please. Those of you leading the group. So, Dudarin and Meneltiern.
Oh, mine's straight intelligence.
Yep.
I mean, I've rolled poorly, so
Oh.
That's a 21.
7.
Okay, so you're able to help out, but it looks like Dudarin's having trouble here, and you find that like keeping your direction is fine, but managing to stay in like good terrain is difficult. And you manage to get to about here. Let's see, right to the edge of the jungle, and you can see it off in the distance there. And you all travel for about another 4 days to get up there.
Okay.
And you can all go ahead and make your survival checks to find food. Okay.
I'm just gonna eat rations. I cannot roll.
I only
19.
got 5.
15 was the
Yep, cut off.
requirement. Okay. Nope.
Mhm.
So
It was
and
4 days?
4 days, yeah. So if you failed getting 15 or higher, then you subtract 4 rations.
Done.
Okay. You notice while you're traveling here that it's kind of warm for it being autumn. And the lands of Jian, or perhaps just the lands in general further down towards the south, are a bit hotter than they should be. And off in the distance, you can see what appears to be a sort of large jungle area, beyond which, according to your map, lies a number of cities on the coast of the Living Sea, and one of those would be Jubei. Now, this is going to be tough. Navigating the fields was one thing, but you know that if you don't make the right checks while going along through here, you could get completely lost or end up going in the wrong direction or something like that. Now, while you're out here, you notice that there are creatures over by the outskirts of the jungle, ones that don't really make their way out into the field, but seem to stay to the trees and the ferns and everything like that. And among those, you can see what look like gigantic lizards, like large enough to tower over houses, that kind of like peer in and out of the trees, and the ground shakes around them, and these dinosaurs like sometimes fight with one another, chasing the others, while others seem to kind of just like move about languishly as they kind of chew on leaves and things like that.
We may have made a mistake.
The chat says, "Yay, dinosaurs!"
What? How could we get to Dai How?
Oh, it looks like the direction over there takes you towards a forest, one that's like far off in the distance that you can see. And this forest isn't exactly a jungle. It doesn't look very humid, and it looks like a strange sort of in-between of a jungle and like a boreal forest, which is more common in the rest of Skyfall.
Does it look like it might have dinosaurs?
From here, you really can't tell.
We just walk along the edge of the forest or the jungle here, and then if we see a good path, then we can go through. But otherwise, stay clear of dinosaurs.
Oh, so you're gonna like move over to here?
Yeah, we'll walk
Yeah.
towards that forest, and
Okay.
then if there happens to be any good paths through the jungle, we could always take those.
Okay. So there's no need for survival rolls for this other than for food, so go ahead and make that.
How many days was it?
Got a good roll on that. That'll help.
Nope.
It's a single day that you're trying to avoid right now.
Oh.
What
Why
did
not?
you get? Anybody fail or pass the 15?
No, I don't
I
pass.
failed.
Okay, so it's a single day worth of rations.
I failed, so.
Using this landmark, though, to kind of guide you, you're able to sort of shuffle along, and resting for the night, like partway along this journey, away from there is a perilous sort of thing, and is a little bit nerve-wracking. There's a time during the evening, for instance, where, let's see here, Ivan, you hear the sound of a terrible beast mauling another one somewhere in the jungle. There's like this sort of terrifying reptilian screech before another one sort of echoes out, and then you hear like the sound of bone crunching. Just like
Wonderful.
you see as like Zai kind of like rolls over in his sleeping bag at the time while he's like sitting there like laying down trying to meditate a little bit, and the whole thing is just it's not fun. But you do eventually get to this strange sort of area where the forest starts to change, and I'll have everybody please roll insight.
To see how dinosaur-y this forest is?
Another thing I'm super good at.
On a scale from 1 to 10, how dinosaur-y?
That is a 4.
That's a 7.
I also got
20.
4.
Oh,
Oh.
okay. Alright, so there was a 20 and the rest were poor?
Correct.
Okay,
The second highest was a 7.
gotcha. Not great. Okay, so as all of you approach, this seems like a normal forest, but Zai, you can feel something on the wind. Literally, like the wind is almost like cold as you approach this forest. And you can tell that there's something different about this this area, and if you had to guess, you would say that these woods are enchanted.
Alright, upon feeling that, I'm just gonna turn to Metal Tyrion. I feel something quite strange here.
What is it?
I almost want to say it's something magical, but I don't necessarily possess that prowess.
With that information, would I be able to kind of focus and determine anything, or could I feel it as well?
The winds to you seem normal, and you could attempt perhaps like magic or something like that, but just from like your own senses, no, you won't be able to garner anything.
How close are we to the forest?
You're probably like an hour away. Like you're pretty close by to it.
Yeah, 30
Down
feet.
the field there.
Well, no, I was thinking the radius of detect magic.
Yeah, but you can wander and get like right up to it. It's early
Right,
in the
that's what-
morning.
We need to get closer for me to determine anything.
Well, let us definitely take caution.
Okay.
Noted.
You notice on your map there, Meneltirn, that some of the locations here on the map, not just towns, but actual like areas of interest are named. And this apparently is the Kushi Wind Forest. And as you approach it and get only a few feet away from the nearest tree, you can hear that indeed some sort of wind blows through the trees, and it's intense. Like the sort of noise it makes is audible on your ears and can't really be felt outside of the forest.
Okay. When we're at the edge of the forest, I'd like to cast Detect Magic.
Okay. So from your Detect Magic spell, you can definitely feel that there's a very sort of faint enchantment that lays over the entirety of the forest that spreads out in front of you that you can feel with your 30 feet in that direction.
Does it feel elvish in nature?
Oh.
Or fey?
Interesting. I'll let you make an Arcana check to try and push the boundaries of your Detect Magic spell.
Okay. Boundaries, guys.
Boundaries.
About.
Oof.
That's a beautiful roll. That's a 24.
They're most assuredly not Elven.
Okay.
And it feels as though it may be Fey magic at work.
Okay. Would I note that it is strange to feel kind of fey magic this far south of Nomentar?
Ah. You know from your studies that pretty much any forest, even fields, beaches, all sorts of nature locations can be strongly tied to the Fae. And it's really just dependent on the significance or what kind of creatures reside there and that sort of thing. You know that Nomentar, the whole part of it, like every single forest, every field is just like steeped in Fae magic, whereas over here in the lands of the humans, it's hit and miss, and it appears that this would be one of those areas.
Okay. Would I know anything like about particular strength of that magic or anything
No,
of that
unfortunately
nature?
not.
Okay. So I get up from my detect magic ritual, and I look to the group. Strong Fey presence here. Very common with forests, Skyfall, and the world at large. Might be familiar with them, Zai, being from Star. If
Yes,
we
and
are to travel...
I definitely feel more at home in that type of forest than a jungle full of dinosaurs.
Yes, quite well. All things aside, if we are to travel through this forest, we must take extra cautions. Magics here will be strong, and the creatures could be assuredly deadly.
Okay. So, you're gonna try and travel from here and then get to the road, or are you gonna try and get to the city of like Lenma, or like what's going on here?
Two questions. One, would it be about? So would it be terrain-wise, not considering the enchantment? Would it be easier to travel from where we are to Daiho? How? Versus traveling straight to Jubei, which would be through the forest.
It looks
or
like they're
jungle.
the same distance.
Right.
Looking at the two, the enchanted forest here that has this mysterious wind that travels through it seems to be pretty tranquil in comparison to the dinosaur-laden jungles below you.
Right.
Then again, you know that the Fae can be a tricky bunch, so that's really up to your own decision. As far as distance-wise goes, like Dihao is like maybe a few hours shorter if you like really look carefully on the map.
Right.
So like a kind of gap sort of between forest and jungle that
no, not
might
really.
be able to walk
There's
across?
a fine line that we can walk. Avoid everything.
No, the way they mingle
Could go
together, it's
around
like a
it.
gradual change. You could try and like travel through that area, which would bring you out like kind of like a long, let's see here, like through here. But
If we went that way and went down to that other city, sorry, what is that? Rin?
Yeah.
Is that much further than going to Diao?
Barely. Maybe half a day, maybe a day extra.
I think that might be our best option.
So we just need to have some really good luck.
I think traveling through the Enchanted Forest will have slight benefit in our trip, in that both Zai and I are more in tune with this magic. Zai more innately, myself more arcanely. Regardless, I prefer it over dinosaurs.
Yes, I'm definitely not in tune with them at all.
So when faced with option A and B, you choose C, which is both and neither?
Yes.
Okay, alright.
Wait, both and neither? What?
Right, well, you're trying to move through the area where jungle becomes boreal and vice versa, right?
Oh, I figured right through the boreal, or
Oh,
right through,
okay, you're going through the boreal
Enchanted
area.
Forest. That's
Okay.
what I was suggesting.
Yeah.
I don't know if the group has any objections to that.
No, we just have to get to the road.
As long as it doesn't have dinosaurs in it, I'm cool.
A lot of prejudice against reptiles and focusing in my groups.
Granted, the Fae are equally as dangerous as reptiles, mind you. Although
But are they as large?
not usually.
Darren and I have had run-ins with reptiles in the past, and I'll hold up my hand with the one missing finger.
Quite. Enchanted Forest it is.
I forgot about that missing finger. Oh, that is
It hasn't
rough.
really come up yet.
Yeah. Like, see a jungle full of dinosaurs. So, anyway, me and reptiles.
So an hour into our trip, I would just like to kind of know if the magical if anything with the detect magic has gotten stronger or anything.
Oh.
Because that lasts for an hour, I'm pretty sure.
Interesting. Ah, okay. Let's go ahead.
Just kind of like a update on that, I guess.
You can sense that the enchantment sort of fills
I'm
all
sorry.
around you. And
Not an hour. Concentration up to 10 minutes.
10 minutes. Okay.
Yeah. So that's all very different.
Okay. So you can feel as you sort of start to step in here with the rest of your group that all around you there is an enchantment about the area. And for a brief moment, as your spell is beginning to fade, you think that you sense something else. Further up ahead, 30 feet away, it feels like there might be another sort of magic, and then just as you're like starting to get the info for it, like your spell just kind of like fizzles out.
So
all of you are surrounded in this forest now, by the way.
at that, I'm gonna tell everybody to stop.
Oh, okay.
Two things, because I'll probably end up casting Detect Magic again.
Okay.
Being a wizard trained specifically in the School of Enchantment, is there anything extra I could garner from this forest? I don't know if being a part of a particular school gives you any extra information.
Situationally it does. You can tell that this enchantment feels old. It feels ancient.
Right.
That's all that you can get extra.
And that would kind of line up with the idea that it's Fey.
Potentially. Or that the forest is older than some other ones, who knows? Or
You
maybe
said
it's
so.
a very old creature that has laid down the enchantment. But
Right.
it's definitely something steeped in age. It's ancient.
As we're walking through, I'd probably just casually mention to Minotaur, does it seem normal for a forest to seem this cold, especially with how warm it was by the jungle?
A normal forest? No.
But an enchanted forest?
Yes. And I say, no, give me a moment, and I cast Detect Magic again as a ritual.
Okay, and you're still traveling forward, right? Like you guys just pause for 10 minutes while you do this and then keep going?
Correct.
Okay. As you continue going, you can feel that there's some other sort of magical source nearby, but it feels alien. Like it's not... Like maybe it's divine magic? It doesn't have a school. It's schoolless magic.
Table talk, you motherfucker, but I'm gonna keep that to myself. to
a lot
Charlie.
of hostility here.
Charlie is gonna keep that to himself, and we're just gonna keep going.
Okay.
In all reality, Meneltiern would kind of be intrigued by this. Would I notice that it's getting stronger?
Yes, and as you
Okay.
move forward, you can feel the presence of this getting closer until eventually it's basically like just beyond a set of bushes nearby.
I say
I'd like to mention that I have my shield and my axe
Oh yeah.
yeah.
ready.
Okay.
Is the temperature still the same?
Yeah, it's just slightly colder than it should be in here, and the wind sort of blows about, not gently, but like it rushes here and there, disappearing for a
Okay.
bit and then pushing in another direction.
Meneltiern is like enthralled by this, like whatever it could be. And you say it's like basically behind a bush ahead of us. Meneltiern's gonna approach it with his staff kind of out, and just kind of looking and seeing if he can see anything.
Okay.
Since this is a magic he's never felt before.
Okay, so you go forward and you're using your staff to kind of push the bushes apart and peer through?
Yep.
Okay. Go ahead and roll investigation.
Okey-dokey. Bonus.
It's so weird having a character with high int. Doesn't have
I know, right? Like, I get all the information.
It's like, wow, the fucking lore master. And then you have Ivan has like proficiencies, but he's from another world, so he's hooped.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's fine for religion and history, but it's useless now.
Yeah.
Well, it's like mine. What does my history do?
Yeah, exactly.
I know how the world was hundreds of years ago.
You're only
But I
guy
don't
to
know that
knowing
because I was
shit.
just in a monastery.
I know how to raise cows.
Yeah, a cattle farmer, a guy that knows a bunch but is a high elf, and then two people are just like, what's going on?
13.
A 13, okay. Looking beyond there, you see a bunch of sort of like padded down grass. It looks similar to like when you yourselves make camp and lay down with a bedroll and sort of leave that there. And you can see nearby what also looks like a campfire, which has long since gone out.
Like long, like probably more than a day.
Yeah, probably maybe a full 10 day, maybe longer. You could maybe get some better info if you got closer, kind of thing. But yeah, the coals they've gone out a long time ago.
Nothing here feels illusory.
Oh, no. Doesn't look
Okay.
illusory to you at all.
From this distance, I can only garner that this was probably a campsite a while ago.
Yeah, it seems like it.
And this is definitely where I detected the foreign magic.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of skirting it a little bit. I just want to kind of get a different vantage point, see if that kind of gives anything.
Okay. What are you three doing? Meneltiern is like prodding with his staff after telling you to stop and looks beyond a bush using the tip of it and then starts to like wander around the side of the bush cautiously.
I'd probably follow him up slowly.
Yep, just follow him
behind him. Do we feel anything different here? Us being like magic dunces?
No, just the wind that comes every now and then. It occasionally disappears and then sort of like pushes against you in random directions and then disappears again. As you make your way around, you see that there's a camp here, and it looks like it was a camp of one. A single small little campfire there, an imprint where a bedroll may have been. And you see something else. There's a glint. It looks like a metallic object over there, sort of hidden by some long grass.
Very, very slowly, I kind of approach it to kind of get a better view of it.
Okay. It
And
looks
looking
like a
cautiously
mug.
around. A bug?
A mug, like a
mug,
little
I'm sorry.
glass, like a little tin cup.
One second, I want to see. Thing. How long does mage armor?
8 hours?
8 hours, yeah.
Not long enough.
I cast mage armor on myself.
Okay, yeah, feeling a little bit out of place here and being cautious, you cast your mage armor.
I hit it with the butt of my staff.
Okay, there's a clink as the tin kind of like rolls over, and you see what looks like a sort of slightly yellowish orangish liquid that pours out of the side and sort of like disperses into the ground.
Is it a human-sized mug?
Yeah, it looks like it. It looks like it wasn't made for like half-size folk or anything like that. And
Can I garner what kind of liquid it would have been?
Oh,
I just knocked on the ground.
yeah, it looked like maybe like a tea or something like that, or a juice perhaps.
I pick it up.
Okay. Yeah, you pick up the cup. It smells kind of like saccharine, like it's very sweet. The scent of like oranges coming off from it.
Okay. Does this in particular feel any more magical?
Oh. No, the cup doesn't seem magical at all, and the sort of emanations that are coming from around here must be from some other object than the cup. As you kind of examine the cup and turn it over and look at it, you see something familiar on it. There's something.
Christ.
What's that?
Jesus Christ. I'm just scared. Player me is terrified.
Yeah, give me 2 seconds. It looks as though written on the bottom of the cup. Ah, yes. It says the happy face, like property of the happy face, on the bottom of the cup.
Okay. Does that mean anything to me?
Yeah, it was an inn that you stayed at briefly before having your meeting with Theo. Because you guys went to go sit there and were told the table was reserved.
Right.
Remember that?
Okay.
And then you went back in to get drinks and talk
Right.
about some important stuff.
While we were there, I mean, can I recall, like, I don't know, anybody of interest?
Oh, back at
Or is that-
the inn?
Yeah. Like, why would this
It was
be
pretty
here?
full when we were there last time, right?
Yeah, it was bustling, so not really. Just like a ton of townsfolk in there having a good time and eating and drinking.
I hold it back and still kind of looking forward, like for someone to grab it. What else is here on this campsite?
Is
Just
is everybody else looking?
I'll take a look at it and then hand it to Darren.
Okay, yeah, you recognize the name as well. Darren, you can see it. It's definitely from that tavern that you were at before.
The only thing left here is the fire pit.
It looks like it, yeah.
I cast prestidigitation to clean it up. See if there's anything that would be like sitting in the ashes.
Sure, yeah, you kind of make a sort of dull wind there for a brief moment. And it's almost as though the forest's wind moves with yours in time, and so a very powerful gust goes whoosh, and like all the coals start rattling as they roll over the ground. You can see there, center to the bed of coals, appears to be a small puzzle box.
Is it the one I lost?
It looks identical.
Go.
I'll slowly go over and pick it up.
Okay.
I hold out the like if he's butt of my staff in front of him. What are you doing?
Oh, to stop him?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm assuming I'm in front of him.
Yeah, you're closer to the fire, so you can try and stop him, but dude, Aaron, if you want to just power through, you can.
I think I'm going to.
Okay, yeah, go ahead and make a strength check. And contest it with your own strength check, if you would, Minotaur.
It's a good thing I have a -1.
I have a feeling that this is going to go very
I
one-sidedly.
mean, I roll horribly. That's
no.
10.
15.
Oh, okay. You try to just press forward. You see Minotaur in there, but his staff kind of like plants in the dirt nearby and actually like stops you, and you're kind of forced to pause there for a moment.
I'm gonna use
I
these
see.
yellow dice from now on.
I said, what are you doing?
Well, then I'll point at the puzzle box. I lost one that looks just like that.
You're not at all worried that we found it in an enchanted forest? surrounded by an odd magic.
To be honest, that's the least of my concerns.
Better fun by us than someone else.
That doesn't make any sense.
Well, the question remains how it got here. We lost that box a long ways from here.
We lost it back in Freehold. In water.
On the western end of Freehold.
What do you intend to do with it?
Hold on to it?
What does it do?
I don't know.
We never got the chance. We lost it before we were able to try to discern what it was. Perhaps you could have a shot at it.
I pull my staff away, just kind of plant it in kind of like a just next to me. Go. I motion for Dudarin to pick it up if he wants.
I will do so.
Okay. Make for me a wisdom saving throw, Dudarin.
I forgot about that.
I forgot about that part too.
It's okay, I only have a -1.
Okay.
That's a 4? Why can't I roll dice today?
You reach down and grab this box, and the moment that you do, you just kind of forget what you were doing with it originally. The little bits of ash and coal kind of tumble off of its surface, and they leave no marks, like it looks pristine. And you find as you stare at it that you involuntarily bring the other hand over, and you just start solving the box. And you see that there's like a set of little wooden pieces on the side of the box that shift back and forth, and you start working on this puzzle. Everybody sees this as you ask.
I'm gonna go try to stop him as soon as I remember what happened.
I'm gonna watch intently.
Okay, you just watch. You can see, like, it looks as though Dudarin's just captivated by this, and he just starts solving it. Meanwhile, Zai, you go over, and what are you gonna do?
I'm just gonna try to take it out of his hands.
Okay. So you reach down and snatch it from his hands. He's unable to really pay attention to you, and so you're able to easily grab it. But the moment that you do, I need you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Alright, dude, I got this. Oh no.
Do you? Do you though?
Dude, Darren, your vision was starting to like darken around the corners, not in like an unpleasant way, but just like you weren't really paying attention to any of your peripherals. And suddenly, that feeling is like, whoosh, and it's gone. And you're kind of staring at the fire there, and you look over and you see Zai, who now has the puzzle box, and is like starting to solve one of the sides that you've already
I'm
solved.
going to take my shield and just knock it out of his hand.
Okay.
Well, seeing this happen before he can do that, because I assume I might get like a second on Dudarin, I go, I just want us to go fascinating and just pluck it out of his hands to kind of inspect it.
Oh, interesting. Okay, well, both of you make an initiative check. See who manages to do their thing first.
Okay.
Jesus
Are you
Christ,
kidding?
Koala. That is savage. You can't roll for shit today.
I didn't even have to roll.
The shield's like still in your hand before you're about to throw it, and you see that Meneltiran kind of like quickly reaches over and snatches the box. And Meneltiran, make a wisdom saving throw for me if you would.
You got it. That's a
There we
natural
go.
20.
Okay, you grab the box and you can feel there's this strong compulsion as you're holding it there to like suddenly start solving it. And you kind of like blink your eyes and shake your head for a second, and you're able to stave it off, and you're just holding this box.
I don't know. I just want to inspect it and see what, like, if there's any interesting markings or anything I can garner from it at all.
No, there's no real like runes or anything on it. It just looks like a bunch of shifting pieces. Maybe the shifting pieces themselves are supposed to be like runes or something like that. It looks as though your companions have managed to solve 1 out of 6 sides. Perhaps there's like a compartment inside, or maybe it does something, but it's clearly, now that you're holding it and you're still running the spell, it's clearly the object that's emitting this strange, classless magic.
Go, fascinating. And I say, Dudarin, come here for a moment. I just want you to look at this.
Yeah, no, we
Don't
kind of
pick it up again.
forgot. Kind of forgot about the whole brain thing.
Brain? What? No, look. Does anybody come close to it?
No.
Yep,
Anybody?
walk over.
Okay, I immediately place it in his hands.
Do you take it, Ivan?
Yeah.
Okay, a wisdom
I
saving
really don't see
throw,
what all the
please.
fuss is about.
Okay.
20.
As you take the box, you can feel some sort of magic tries to warp and take over your mind for a moment, and there's like a compulsion to start solving the box, but you're able to push it to the back of your mind and just kind of hold it there.
See,
I
it's
kind of
fine.
hold it up to my ear and shake it.
Okay. There's no noise from inside. There's no thing inside that seems to rattle or anything like that.
Perhaps giving it to the dwarf wasn't the best idea.
Taking a,
Pull out the hammer. Get out a candle holder.
taking a closer look at it. Is there anything that I can pick up on it?
Oh.
How it was
No,
made,
not really.
maybe?
It looks kind of how I've described. None of its features looks like it's supposed to be writing or anything like that. Only that when you've moved all of the sides, like moved all the pieces on one side to finish the puzzle, it seems very obvious that it's like this side is now completed.
I motion. One of you, please, come here.
No.
Do you not understand the importance of this? This artifact, it's fascinating.
Okay, I've rolled this dice like 19 times, and the highest I got was an 11.
I'm sorry, bro.
Here,
I
throw
don't
one
know
of
what's
mine.
up.
There you go.
Clearly, Steve, you need to start using the tower.
What wasn't better?
Gotta roll it. Give it a good chuck.
Do Darren is adamantly not coming over. Does Zai come over?
Oh no, I'm not coming over.
There you go.
I just look over at both. What is wrong with you two?
Look, Amirth, we don't know what causes the spell, but we know if you pick it up, it can cause you to try to solve it uncontrollably, as you saw with the two of us.
Have you ever finished?
We have not.
Perhaps
As we
shall.
said, we lost it before.
While they're having this conversation, I want to try to unscramble the one that was solved. Or re-scramble it.
Ramble.
Oh, interesting. Okay. You're able to move some of the pieces back out of the way, and you can feel as you do that there's this compulsion to do the opposite, and it's like you're fighting it with every bit of your mind, but you're able to like undo that side. You can tell the longer that you hold it, the more that your mind sort of weakens to this effect, and you can feel very obviously how if you continue to hold it, it's going to try and exert its will over you, and eventually you will inevitably start solving it.
Okay, I'm gonna pull out my hammer, not smash it, and just essentially place it on the head of the hammer, kind of balancing it there. And
Okay,
shooting
yeah,
at
it alleviates the effect. It seems if it's not like touching your hand, like in your flesh there, then you're okay. And just kind of resting it there. You guys can look at it.
grab it off the hammer. I say, "Are you mad?"
Okay, a wisdom saving throw, please.
Absolutely. This is great.
Sure, you don't want to use the dice tower?
I'm positive. I love the dice tower, but
Cool.
there we go.
Okay, you get partway through your sentence. You go, you must be mad. Just like trail off and start solving it. And you guys see as like Minotaur just stops what he's doing. His staff is on the ground near him, and he's going through the puzzle box.
I grab it out of his hands.
Okay.
Make another roll.
No, you still have the residual effects from your
Okay,
previous
so I place
one.
it back on the head of my hammer and just kind of like giving him a look, shaking my head.
Wait a minute. The 20 that I got before didn't have any residual effects?
No. But this is a cleric
Interesting.
you're talking to with very high wisdom.
I got you. Continue.
So
So I place it back on the head of my hammer, just balancing it there so that nobody has to touch it.
okay.
I grab it again.
I start walking away.
Not resisting.
Okay. Just spurred on by this powerful object, you reach for it again, and the effect takes over you. There's no real chance for you to even fight it as you start solving it and finish one of its faces. Does
Anything
anybody
bad
stop?
happen?
Dude, Darren
What
looks like
happens?
he's tired of this and starts walking away.
I'm gonna watch him. Like, what happens after the first side gets finished? Anything?
He just goes to the next side and keeps going.
Well, should we stop him?
Well,
See
he
where it
was
goes.
curious. I suppose we can let him solve it for a little bit.
little bit.
Chat says yes, do it. And if there's one thing I've noticed is that you can always trust chat.
Oh, I'm gonna
Someone
watch
says
them
yes.
myself
That
for a
sounds
bit.
It's
right.
not my experience, but
Okay.
sure.
Okay, so dude, Aaron, you just walk away. Like, are you gonna just like keep going on your travels, or just like you want to get away from the group for a bit?
I'm gonna get like 30, 40 feet away.
Okay. This is what happens. Dude Aaron has left the group while the two of you, Zai and Meneltier, watch on. Or sorry, not Meneltier, Zai and Ivan. You watch on as Meneltier goes through and solves one side, then moves to another, then another. Gets close to the end, just fascinated and curious to see what'll happen. When suddenly finishes it, you see as he pushes the last piece into the place that it should be at, and he just disappears from existence, and the box just goes as it like falls to the ground.
Oh. I don't think we should have let him finish the puzzle. I'm gonna put.
Why do
I
you
like-
keep killing yourself?
Can I pick it up with like a piece of cloth or something and see if that can
Oh, yeah.
stop the effects at all?
Okay, it seems to help, and as you place a cloth around it, you're able to hold it there, and you can feel it still calling to you almost, and there's that feeling, but it's distant enough that you can resist it.
I'm gonna call into the box, Meneltier.
Okay. There's no response.
I can't wait to see where I am.
Looking at looking at the sides of the box, does it still solved, or is it somehow gotten scrambled again?
Oh, yeah, peering through the cloth that it's currently held in, you can see that it looks like it's all unsolved.
Did I hear them calling out from?
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna
Okay.
call for him now.
Oh, yeah, you hear him.
I'm gonna jog back.
Sudden realization of, oh, fuck.
Hey, Alucien,
Yeah?
where the fuck am I?
Well, you'll find out in a minute. What do you guys do?
Where did he go?
Well, he finished the puzzle and disappeared.
Based on how he disappeared and like just general arcane knowledge, does it seem like he like ceased to exist? Did he like killed? Is he teleported?
Yeah, if I like
Oh.
sit and like try to meditate for a bit, can I sense anything? Does he
Right.
seem dead?
So you know that there's like multiple forms of like relocation or banishment and things like that, but it's indiscernible to tell which
Guys,
just
you guys
occurred.
just lost your magic user.
No, he didn't. I take the box and start solving it.
Okay. Are you gonna stop him, Ivan? It seems everybody desires to drink the Kool-Aid.
Well, it looks like he did so willingly, right? Like he.
Oh, I'm gonna take it and
Yes.
say, "I'm coming, Meneltier."
Okay. Yeah, it's clear he's going in.
Did
Why am I the
Meltieren's
only sane one?
Meltieren's staff is still outside, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It's on the ground.
Okay.
Wait, it's
I'm
on
gonna
the
pick up
ground
the
beside
staff.
us?
I'll kind of like essentially slide that into the crook of Zagataka's arm as he's solving it.
Oh yeah, for sure. He doesn't even notice. And do you guys stop him?
For solving it?
Yeah, from solving the puzzle box.
I don't know.
Nope.
No? Okay.
Nope.
You see, as he finishes it, the box falls to the ground unsolved once again, and while tumbling, there's just the, like, where suddenly you see your friend disappear. All of his gear goes with him, and the staff disappears to the other side, whatever it may be, or is banished to some other plane, who knows, but it's gone as well.
I'll just look at Zai.
No, it's
No, I'm
not
gone.
Zai.
It's you and Ivan.
Oh, Zai's one. Oh, I thought it was Meneltier and then Ivan.
Nope.
I'll look down at Ivan. So I'm not solving it.
Not the least bit curious.
No, I don't like stuff in my head.
It's a fair point. But you and Zai were friends, though. Don't want to go in after him.
As far as we know, going him after him just means death. so we find someone that knows more about this.
Hmm.
Or just get out of this forest first. I mean, I've seen any dinosaurs, but I don't trust it.
Well, and I guess it makes sense that whoever camped here probably solved it as well and disappeared. Considering that their stuff is still here, they never came back. Hmm.
Oh no, I just thought of something.
Hmm.
If that staff is gone, and so is the Sovereign Stone, what if Theo comes back before we get them out of there?
Well, maybe Theo will get him out of there.
I don't think he's that kind.
A devil not being kind? Preposterous.
I'm gonna take some cloth and pick up the box and put it in my bag.
Okay. It's now in your backpack, and you can add a single puzzle box to your backpack.
You guys don't even know what you're missing.
Don't lose it again.
Are you gonna continue your travels? What are you gonna do? Two of your party members are gone.
Here's the map.
I'm gonna just
I
investigate
have
the
the
campfire again, see if there's anything else that was left behind.
Sorry, you're gonna what?
Investigate the campfire.
Oh, okay. Let's see here. I'm gonna roll absolute luck for you. And
I blew it
see
over,
no
too.
20s. The campfire is empty.
The campfire is where the puzzle box was.
Yeah, he left behind the tin cup. I don't know if there's anything else.
Nope.
I guess I suggest we try and follow the same path and get to that town because we don't have the map.
It's just gonna be rough. How many rations do you have?
I currently still have 11.
Kind of scratching my chin.
I wonder how many rations are in the puzzle box. Find out.
Okay, so you guys are gonna go traveling, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So at this point, we'll cut to our other two. Everything turns dark as you finish the puzzle box mental tier. Same to you, Zai, as you finish the box, darkness takes you. And as things start to slowly come back towards you, first thing that both of you hear is the sound of ocean waves. And it's like a very sort of calm but rocking set of waves. And you can also hear sounds like a creaking almost, as though a wooden or perhaps metal structure was sort of straining under some great weight.
Is it
And
dark?
After the sound, things start to come towards you, and you can see sensory perception coming back, light and then color, and find that both of you are sitting in what appears to be a glass box suspended above an ocean. You can see, as you look around, that this room has a couple of features. While there is metal and wood that makes up the frame, both the floor, the walls, and the ceiling are just gigantic panes of glass. And over at the other end of the room, there appears to be some sort of elaborate altar with a large statue at the top of it. And center of the room, it looks like there's a shaft that goes down from this room and plunges straight into the ocean. All around you, looking through the glass, is just ocean in every direction.
So do I see Zai?
Yes, he is seated next to you, and Zai, if you look around, you can see Mental Tyrion as well.
I pick up my staff from him.
Okay. Yeah, he's got your staff for some reason. You quickly snatch it.
I go over to the altar and I I'll, at this point, I'm so intrigued. I take off my mask and pull down my hood, and I'd like to investigate the altar, see
Okay.
what god it is. I do have proficiency in religion.
Gotcha.
Oh, do I have proficiency? I might have proficiency in religion.
I think you
Sure, give
do.
it a look.
Oh, I do.
If both of you would like, you can roll. I'm kind of enthralled by this thing across the room.
That's still pretty good. That's an 11.
I got
11.
18.
Oh. Okay, with your 11, it looks as though this statue is of some god that you don't recognize. It looks like a fairly young individual, a man in his prime, just leaving his teens, and he has a set of very elaborate wizard robes, a quill in one hand and a book in the other, and looks to be writing something in it. You can see that there's like a mural that spreads nearby the book and goes straight up in stone, and on it there are like little symbols and stuff to give the illusion of like floating symbols above the book. It's a very sort of clever and elaborate memorial. Zai, with an 18, however, you know what this is. This is a more antiquated and older representation of the god Aurex. Aurex is sometimes known as the god of scrolls. To your people, he's known as Anweir Gillen, and he is the one who is famed for having harnessed arcane magic and is sort of seen as like the patron god of all wizards. Those who follow him hold like study and worship to almost be like the same thing, like they're interchangeable. And people who are incredibly devout to him will spend long hours of every day poring over like magical facts and studying history and things like that. Not only for the sake of pursuit of knowledge, but also as like a reverent act to Aurex himself.
I look at it, I go, fascinating. Some old god. And at that, I pull out, I want to wave my staff over it, see if that kind of has any kind of magical effect.
Oh, interesting. As you wave your staff past, you hear a sound, and as you look behind you, you can see that there's something happening over at this large shaft at the center of the room. And what looks like a metal box is coming up slowly through the shaft and then comes up and a door opens at the center of the room. This other smaller box here at the top of this shaft just kind of like waiting with its door open.
Fascinating. I peer inside this box that is here.
Okay, are you stepping into the box?
Peering inside, not stepping a foot in.
Okay, you look inside and it looks like a perfectly sealed glass box. And once again, much like the room, it has like metal components that hold the glass panes together. But other than that, it's just solid glass. And as you're kind of looking in, you realize that as you look down, that this tunnel just like descends into the ocean.
How many people could fit in it?
You could easily fit like 5 or 6 people in here if you wanted.
Okay. No, in the box that's over the shaft.
Yeah, 5 or 6
Okay.
people.
We wait for the others.
I suppose give them some time. I expected them
Yes.
to be here by now, but
Yes, yes.
suppose we should take this this door here. There's no other way to go.
Well, let's. My head is just buzzing. This is incredible. Here, let's sit for a moment.
You notice
Do
that
you have
while
any
you're
idea
looking-
where we are?
Hmm?
Do you have any idea where we are? I've never seen anything like this.
Well, judging, looking like on the horizon, ocean everywhere, or
Yes.
water. Okay,
There's no landmass in sight, no seagulls, nothing.
I just say, judging by the fact that there's no land near us, we're not on a lake. We're likely in one of the oceans, although I cannot garner which.
As you're looking around and chit-chatting about your situation, you see off where you had originally landed in the room that the puzzle box sits over there.
Should we... I don't know, should we attempt to go back and get them?
That's quite strange. When you had solved the box, you dropped it. Perhaps
Did I?
there's,
Interesting. Fascinating.
I wonder, do you think that would get back to where we were, or perhaps somewhere else entirely?
Perhaps.
If I go pick it up with a cloth or something, obviously, so I don't touch it. Does it look the exact same as the other one,
It's
or is
completely
it different?
identical. Yeah.
Well, what should we do?
No. I'm sorry. I didn't. Did you garner anything from that altar?
Yes, I can't remember too much. God named Oryx? Perhaps you've heard of them. I believe it's actually a wizard god.
When he mentions this, does that kind of like jog my memory at all?
Yeah, RX is familiar to you. You're not one of his disciples or anything like that, but you know that RX has like little altars that were sometimes left throughout the college. They're like little
Right.
tucked away areas that were quiet, like parts of libraries and things like that, where students would sometimes go to not only study but pray to him as well. Though he was never really a
Right.
god of yours, and you always felt tied to Yendu in some way.
Right. Ah. Yes, I have heard of him. Take the puzzle box in your hand. See if you can return to them.
Yes,
I
well,
will wait here.
and if anything happens, make sure you try to solve it as well and hopefully make it back.
Yes.
Wish me luck, and I'll take
All
the
right.
cloth away and grab it with my bare hands.
Okay, with the intent of going through the box, the this feeling, this need to fix it and solve it, just like washes over you, and soon you're entranced in it. And meanwhile, back in another area, Dudarn and Ivan, you started walking away from the camp for like 2 minutes when suddenly there's like a thump, and you see landing on his feet there and kind of collecting himself, Zai appears,
Where does he appear?
like 2 feet away from Dudarn.
Ivan, dude, it worked.
What worked?
Look, this puzzle box seems to be some sort of portal. There was a corresponding one in the area I ended up. It was a glass room floating above an ocean. I think we're all gonna want to head there.
Why?
Penaltern is
That
waiting for us.
sounds like the opposite of what I want to do.
There was a shrine to a wizard god, Oryx. Do not believe this is a place of evil. Where's the other puzzle box?
It's in my bag.
Quick, hand it over.
Again with the cloth, I'll pick it up and I'll toss it to him.
Okay. He hands you back the box, and it's in the cloth, so you don't have to fix it. Meanwhile, Mentaltiern, what are you doing? Mentaltiern?
My bad. I had my inline mic muted.
Oh, okay.
Mistake. I get up.
The box falls on the ground as you see Zai disappear.
I just kind of look at it and I nod and kind of like kind of gathering more about what this does now. I just get up. I look out all four corners, or not four corners, four sides of the glass box, just kind of observing for a little bit, and then going back to the altar and kind of looking over that again.
Okay, yeah, you examine your surroundings again. So we'll cut back to the other end if you're not doing anything with the box and
No.
the shaft there. What are you guys doing, you three, as Zai reappears and mentions to you that go through? You're now holding the box in your hand, Zai, in the cloth.
Alright, well, I'm just gonna look at dude and look at Ivan, and before I take the box in my bare hand, I'm just gonna tell them both.
So where
Look,
exactly did you go?
There's a glass room floating above an ocean. We used the staff, and it looked like another doorway appeared that led down a shaft. There's a way back. There's another box on the other side.
You solved the other box to come back.
Yes, it was identical, and when I solved it, I ended up back here. I'm sure that if we use this box, we'll end up in the same room that Mentaltern is in.
Look at Dudarin. Well, we can get back if we want to.
I think I'll just like pinch the bridge of my nose. Fine.
And then at
Wait,
that, I'll grab it and start solving.
Okay. Yeah,
Uh.
Zai soon disappears when he finishes the box and it falls unsolved to the ground. Do the two of you finish it and go with him?
Yeah.
Okay. The same feelings wash over you as you end up on the other side eventually, and there's a period of darkness before the scene surrounds. And Mentaltiern, from your perspective, you see as like Zai appears there, seemingly dazed, and then kind of collects himself, and then next the rest of them appear. Ivan, you go in too, right?
Before I do, I'm gonna look around and try and find a safe spot to stash the box when it like falls from my grip.
Oh, interesting. Okay, yeah, you kind of get to like a bush where you think it'll be hidden, and finish the box there. Clever thing. And you all
I was
appear
gonna
in this
say
glass
that,
box.
but I was already gone.
okay, everyone's in the box?
Yes, you're
Yep.
all in this glass box in the ocean somewhere.
I say, the second, like, the last of the group arrives, I just say, okay, stand up. And then I kind of just motion for everybody to get into the central box that is open.
Do you guys go
Uh,
inside?
Before I do, I look around for that puzzle box that is the way out.
Ah, indeed. It appears that, let's see here. Mentaltiern, did you take it?
No,
Okay.
I left it on the ground.
Yeah, it's on the ground nearby.
Okay. Using something so I don't physically touch it, I kind of pick it up and walk over to Darren, stuffing it in his pack.
Okay.
I will reluctantly get into the smaller cube.
Yep, I'm gonna get in with them as well.
Yeah. This is incredible. I've never experienced something like this.
Okay. So you all step inside of this other box, yes?
Yes. Before I do, I am going to examine the altar, though. But yes.
Okay. Go ahead and roll your religion check.
My God.
22.
22. Interesting. So, it's definitely not a god from your previous world here, but there are some things that kind of denote what sort of domains this god might fall over. And you can tell, given like the book there and the quill and the way he's dressed, it has to do with magic, and thoughts of study and knowledge as well come to you.
Alucien, can I just say you are a wonderful artist?
Oh, isn't it? Isn't it something? Look at that. It's beautiful. Absolutely amazing.
You can hear the waves.
Indeed. So as you step inside, something interesting happens and the door starts to close. Do you stop it?
No. And
Nope.
if anybody tries to, I stop them.
Okay.
I'm resigned to my fate.
Sign your fate. Okay.
Yes.
Water coffin it is. The door closes, and then with no seeming like mechanism attached to it or anything, just starts to descend slowly.
The entire time I'm just kind of like excitedly looking around at
There's-
kind of like what's going on.
There's the last few moments where the box going down through this other metal shaft is above the water when suddenly you start to go below and things start to get dark. Everybody please roll a perception check.
Would casting light aid in the perception check, or is there any kind of...
No.
Nat 20.
Nat 20. Oh shit.
I got 19.
Alright.
Modded 20.
Everyone's doing pretty good. Is that a 1, Koala?
Everyone's doing pretty. Oh.
Koala?
You poor son of a bitch.
It came out of your tower.
Uh-huh. Oh, guilty. Alright, so, as you're traveling down, faintly, everybody except for Dudarin can see that this shaft goes incredibly far down, but there's like set of lights down in the ocean, almost. And as you get closer, you can see the way that they're spread out. It almost looks like they're attached to like a structure. And with your natural 20 roll there, you can see, Ivan, it looks as though it might be like a fortress or something at the bottom of the ocean.
I mentioned this to the party as we're descending.
Alucien just kind of like shaking his head in disbelief with the biggest grin on his face. Incredible.
The waters
Does
are
the-
calm.
Does the sound of it's like a fortress at the bottom of an ocean ring a bell to anybody?
Interesting. Does it?
Does it? I
Does
have
it?
history.
Is it supposed to?
If you guys don't think that it does, then it most certainly does not.
I can't think of any reason.
Okay.
Would I know, like, okay, so the only, like, possible way I could imagine, Yendu is on the, or is supposed to be on the edge of the ocean, correct? Fishing for souls.
Yes.
Does he have a residence?
Oh, interesting. No, he doesn't. And plus,
Okay.
the sea that he works from is not like a normal sea like this, but is the
Right.
Black Sea at the edge of the universe.
Okay.
Well, you know, like
Then-
Atlantis and stuff. Is there any like myths or legends of
Interesting.
things?
There are myths of cities being seized entirely by the ocean and whole countries being lost to its time. They're very old stories. Nobody really knows if they're true or not. Perhaps that is what you're standing over right now.
Well, let's find out.
The box descends slowly, and as it does, you can see these lights more clearly and see how they sort of create like a structure that's all along the bottom there, but they're very faint, like little pinpricks here and there from way off in the distance, and something happens. You can see an illusion springs into existence right at the center of all of you there in the box, and it looks like a woman in a set of wizard's robes. And she has little pointed ears like an elf, but is definitely like half the size of the stature. Probably about the same height as like a gnome or a halfling. And starts to speak to you. And she says, welcome, hopefuls.
Hopefuls? I say, hello. Who are you?
She says, my name is Elena.
Elena. And where are we going, Elena?
You're traveling down to the endless dungeons of Geofax. We should be there shortly.
What?
What have you gotten me into?
What exactly are these endless dungeons?
Yes.
She says, please refine your inquiry.
What are in the dungeons?
Oh. Within the dungeons can be found many creatures and magical items, all acquired by Geofax when he was in his prime.
Who is Geofax?
Geofax was a Grand Magus.
Does Geofax mean anything to me?
Oh, no, he
Being
doesn't.
a wizard. Okay.
How about me? He's
Oh.
really old.
Oh,
What about the guy from a different world?
Is
What?
Geofax the guy in the statue?
Interesting. She says, do you speak of one of the statues in the dungeon, or the statue in the waiting room?
The waiting room.
No, that is a statue of Aurex.
Oh.
aha. What exactly are we required to do?
Please refine your inquiry.
What do we have to do when we get in the dungeon?
Complete the dungeon.
Said it was endless.
Yes.
Is
So
it
how-
endless?
Yes.
How can we complete something that's endless?
Please refine your inquiry.
Is the
And-
dungeon completable?
Yes.
Has anyone ever completed the dungeon?
No.
When was the last time someone tried?
4 days ago.
Ah. Who was that?
A hopeful by the name of De Niro entered the dungeon and passed into the second
That-
level before perishing to a gelatinous cube.
Aha. How far did he get?
Second level of the dungeon.
The second of...
Infinity.
Is the only way to beat the dungeon to not participate?
Please refine your inquiry.
How do you complete the dungeon?
By completing all of the stages.
What are the stages of the dungeon?
There are currently 13 levels of the dungeon are pre-built.
Aha. What happens when you get farther than that?
Levels of the dungeon are generated as hopefuls traverse through them.
Ah.
Is there any way out other than completing every level?
You can use the access shaft to return to the waiting room at any time.
Aha.
Access shafts can be found throughout levels in the dungeon.
Aha.
Dude, Aaron's not smart enough to ask the questions I want to ask.
Yeah.
How many have perished in the dungeon?
Calculating.
That's not good.
There's a pause, and then it comes back, and Elena says, "Before or after I was installed?"
Both.
Sure.
Unknown.
After.
give me a second here. We're gonna roll that actually.
Nine.
Yeah, exactly. It's not a small
One,
number.
zero,
That's for sure.
zero,
Okay.
0, 0, 0.
2,012 hopefuls have been lost to the dungeons.
Aha.
Approximately 382 magical items have been retrieved from their corpses.
How we get in contact with you, Elena?
I can be contacted any of the access shafts.
Aha.
You can see while you're talking here that you've gone further and further, and it looks like there's just like this grandiose, it's like a series of buildings linked to one another. The one that you're descending into right now looks like a great castle, but there's like a hallway that goes from that one, and it goes into what looks like a great pyramid at the bottom of the ocean. And from that one, this great pyramid is attached to something else, and it just goes like that, like endlessly across the ocean bottom until you just can't see further.
How old are these dungeons, Elena?
Geofax is an incredibly old man who finished these dungeons near the end of his lifetime. The exact date has been redacted.
Aha.
When did you get installed, Elena?
You see she like opens her mouth to respond and then just like stops. And she says, "Unknown."
When did GeoFax die?
Unknown.
Is Geofax dead?
Yes.
Wait a minute. Is Geofax undead?
Unknown.
Mm.
Did Geofax create the puzzle boxes?
No.
What are
Now I'm
the
really
puzzle
confused.
boxes?
Searching for an entry. The puzzle boxes are portals to other worlds.
Real quick, table talk. What's the name of the whole world?
Oh, Altberg.
Altberg.
Altberg. Are we in Altberg still?
She doesn't respond. Please
Where-
refine your inquiry.
What is the world outside the dungeon called?
Unknown.
How far are we from Skyfall?
Please refine your inquiry.
We're not in Skyfall anymore.
How
What
far
are you?
What's up?
What are you?
Oh. I'm a constructed personality.
How far are we from a landmass?
Please refine your inquiry.
How close are we from an above sea level landmass?
Please refine your inquiry.
How far are we from civilization?
Please refine your inquiry.
Is there anyone else alive on this world?
Searching. And then it comes back and says, please refine categories. Undead?
No, living.
0.
Huh.
I just give every party member a evil stare.
What are you mad about, Darren? You know
Yes,
nothing
just
of
think what
magic.
people will say when you return from the endless dungeons of Geofax.
This is incredible.
At this point, you're getting really close to the first building, and it looks like you're going to be descending into it soon.
Well, Elena.
Yes?
I'm sorry. I just read the game chat and almost died a little bit.
It's pretty great.
Sorry. What other information can you give us, Elena?
Please refine your inquiry.
Do you offer any assistance in this dungeon?
There's a pause for a second, and she looks over at you, and then, like, goes to open her mouth and, like, stops, like she's stuck between the words, and she says, please refine your inquiry.
Are you allowed to help us?
I'm allowed to answer specific questions.
Great.
Why are you not permitted to answer certain questions?
Please refine your inquiry.
This statement is false.
At this point, you have actually descended far enough that you're going into one of them. You're going down towards this castle area, and you can see that the ocean the ocean beyond the glass disappears and is replaced with a sort of like cobblestone. Until eventually you descend down and you find that the shaft ends at an incredibly large room with a bunch of torches lit in it, and there's a door at the end of it. The front door, this glass pane, just like swings open, and you can see Elena is still standing there, and she says, "We've arrived. This is the first room of level 1.
How many rooms are in level 1?
That information is unavailable.
Why?
Withheld.
Elena, was De Niro alone when he was here?
Yes.
Oh, well, if he can get through a level himself, the 4 of us should be fine.
Elena, how many levels did he make it through?
The hopeful De Niro, most recent, died on level 2.
How many magical items did you say there were in this dungeon?
Roughly about 382.
How many on level 1?
Information withheld.
Are there any sovereign stones in the dungeon?
Yes.
other than the one we're carrying?
Fascinating.
Yes.
How many?
Including the dungeon's construction or items for hopefuls.
Just items for hopefuls.
Roughly 150.
Look, Elena, I've been having trouble finding darts anywhere. Are there any darts in here?
Yes.
Perhaps he should refine that question. Darts that he can use, not the kind that fly out of traps.
Yes.
Are there traps in this dungeon now that I think about it?
Yes.
I feel
If
like
we
that
run out
would-
of food, is there a way to acquire food in the dungeon?
Yes.
Supplies?
How?
Supplies can be found throughout the dungeon. Many of the creatures, though magical, are edible.
Hmm.
Are there cows in the dungeon?
Yes.
Guys, we have food.
Do the cows wish to kill us?
Please refine your inquiry.
Are the cows evil?
Please refine your inquiry.
Are the cows dangerous?
Please refine your inquiry.
Can the cows cause physical harm to us?
Yes.
You've clearly never worked with cows.
Clearly. Will the cows attack us?
Unknown.
I'm willing to take that chance.
Chat says asking the right questions. Elena pauses there and kind of gives you guys the same smile she has throughout like the whole drop here, as you're standing in this box with its door now open.
Elena,
Yes.
is there anything you can give us before we venture into the first level?
I have been constructed to wish you good luck.
How generous.
Thank you.
And Alucien, frustrated a little bit, looks to that the robot didn't get his sarcasm. Looks to the rest of his group. So, shall we?
After you.
Take it slow, shall we?
Any objections?
No, but like Ivan said, let's take it slow.
Excellent. I step into the dungeon.
Okay. The moment that your foot lands on the first piece of cobblestone, a very loud voice rumbles through the room and says, Meneltirn has entered the dungeon.
Oh, that's pleasant.
Player 2 has entered the game.
It's like the flickering of the flame almost like responds to this voice as its bassiness comes through.
I just kind of look over at you, Darren. I hope they've heard of you.
I really hope not. And I'll step into the dungeon.
Okay, yeah, it says each of your names whenever you enter the room. The moment that your first foot hits that piece of stone, it goes, Dudarn has entered the dungeon.
But does it say Dudarn, the most heroic hero to ever hero of the three towns, slayer of sea hags, killer of bandit kings, ender of the long flame?
Apparently
entered the
not.
dungeon?
No, you might have to program that in. Talk to Elena.
I did give Zagataka a title as well.
There
He's
too.
there too.
Are you guys stepping in as well?
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys step in, and it rings out your names as well. Ivan has entered the dungeon. Zagataka has entered the dungeon. And finally, when you're off of there, you see that the door behind you closes, and you see Elena's form there. She's all glowing in blue and kind of waves towards you and gives you a very sort of like genuine smile before her form just like and like disappears. And you see that the box just kind of like stays there and doesn't move.
Okay.
And with that, we will end the session.
I love this
Well
so much.
I have mixed feelings.
Just wait till we find you some cool ass magical sword, then you'll like it.
I may. Darren may not.
I hope we just find stuff for Darren, like we can survive, come out, and he's got like magical everything.
Oh,
we'll
right.
we'll find like 3 sovereign stones and just hammer them all into his greatsword.
Just like slam into him. Replace his nipples with them. Just like running out of places to put them. Well, anyway, that's it for tonight. I hope that you guys liked watching. A big thanks to all our players, our audience, and all of our patrons. You guys are the reason we get to do this. And we'll see you next time, tomorrow evening. Feel free to kind of chill around. We're going to talk about random bullshit and the stupid stuff that happened in this game and how likely these guys are to die. And,
Very.
See you next time. Very.
I know that's the case. I still love this.
I am so jealous right now. You have no idea.
Will you say that next week?